My 7 stunningly beautiful female tenants. Splash. In the bathroom, hot water rushed out from the shower head, washing the scars on Ning Chuan's body. Each scar was a man's medal. Ha! Sister Ruyan, what a coincidence, you are taking a shower too. Come on, let's take a shower together. Just in time to rub my back. Outside the door, a woman's voice suddenly sounded. Then, the bathroom door was pushed open with a creak. A woman wrapped only in a bath towel appeared in front of Ning Chuan with a smile. When their eyes met, the woman's smile froze, her eyes widened, her mouth opened wide, and she was about to shout, "R." Ning Chuan's left hand reflexively grabbed a towel to block it, and the shower head in his right hand turned to the woman. Swish. A stream of hot water, fast and thick, suddenly sprayed Mu Wanqing's face and poured into her open mouth. The hot water poured into Mu Wanqing's mouth, making her and swallow a lot. Bastard. Hooligan. Who are you? Mu Wanqing spit out the hot water in her mouth, stepped back, turned her head, and screamed angrily. Oh. Ning Chuan then retracted the shower head and frowned as he looked at Mu Wanqing. Pretty face, big bear, thin waist, long legs, fair skin, and the bath towel around her couldn't hide her bumpy figure. She can be considered a top-notch beauty. But, no matter how top-notch, she can't be a hooligan, right? I just returned to China, just returned to my grandfather's small yard, happily taking a bath and singing, but was suddenly interrupted by a female hooligan. What's going on? You bastard! Hooligan! Who are you? You ran into my house to act like a hooligan and sprayed me in the face. I won't forgive you. Mu Wanqing pointed at Ning Chuan angrily. Bang! The next second, the bathroom door slammed shut, almost breaking Mu Wanqing's slender jade fingers. Asshole! Get out of here! Mu Wanqing became even more angry, and kicked the door. However, the moment she kicked the door, the bathroom door was suddenly opened again. Mu Wanqing kicked in vain, and was about to do a split on the ground with a slap. She was only wrapped in a bath towel. If she did a split on the ground, it would be embarrassing, and it's not hygienic. Fortunately, Mu Wanqing was quite skilled, and she retracted her legs at the critical moment, so she didn't make a fool of herself. Asshole! You wait for me. Mu Wanqing's pretty face flushed red, wrapped in a bath towel, legs clamped together, and rushed into the next room with anger vomiting blood. A minute later, Mu Wanqing changed the bath towel into a policewoman uniform and appeared at the bathroom door again. Ning Chuan also dressed slowly and walked out of the bathroom. You rascal! Evil thief! Breaking into private houses. Do you know that I am here to catch thieves like you? Mu Wanqing raised her leg high and kicked Ning Chuan's head with a whip kick, shouting angrily. Huh? Mu Wanqing's leg came in front of Ning Chuan with a whistling sound. You said I'm a thief. Ning Chuan raised his hand casually. Bang! Mu Wanqing's leg hit Ning Chuan's arm, and it was like hitting a concrete pillar. She grimaced in pain and instinctively shrank back. Ning Chuan grabbed Mu Wanqing's ankle with his backhand, and his other hand moved up along her long leg like a snake. Arr! Mu Wanqing screamed in shock, and the whole person was like being bitten by a snake. She shuddered all over, and the foot she was standing on jumped hard, and her feet became scissors and cut towards Ning Chuan's neck. Ning Chuan stretched out his hands, circled, twisted, and lifted. Mu Wanqing felt dizzy, and when she woke up, Ning Chuan had grabbed her ankles together and lifted her upside down like a fish. Are you going to fight with me? Dance? Or flirt? Ning Chuan said with a smile. In fact, he had just figured it out. This small courtyard was left to him by his grandfather. He hadn't been back for 8 years. Maybe the empty room in the courtyard had been rented out. This hot-tempered policewoman was probably a tenant in the courtyard. You bastard! Let go! Mu Wanqing was held upside down, grief-stricken and angry, struggling hard, grabbing with both hands. Hey! Don't grab. It would be bad if you grab something important. Ning Chuan quickly lifted the upside-down Mu Wanqing higher, held her upside down on his shoulders, and raised his hand to slap Mu Wanqing on the butt. Snap! 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 The crisp sound echoed, as if it represented the source of the sound. Mu Wanqing was stunned. This bastard! How dare he hit her there? Bastard! Are you looking for death? Mu Wanqing was so ashamed and angry that she was going crazy. She hugged Ning Chuan's waist backwards and was about to bite him, using a fighting method of dying together. Ha! Xiao Chuan, Wanqing? Are you two doing acrobatics? Or are you making out? Suddenly, a scream came from the gate of the courtyard. Then, a woman in a long skirt walked quickly towards the two of them. The woman was very beautiful, with traditional long hair and long skirt, a classical beauty, and a gentle and elegant temperament. Sister Ruyan. Ning Chuan immediately threw Mu Wanqing onto the sofa next to him, and quickly walked up to her and gave her a big hug. The woman's name is Ning Ruyan. She is the adopted daughter of the Ning family, 3 years older than Ning Chuan, and she is closer to Ning Chuan than real siblings. Xiao Chuan, you are finally back, now you have grown into a big man. Sister Ruyan is old too. Being tightly hugged by Ning Chuan, Ning Ruyan did not struggle, but just hugged Ning Chuan tightly, raised her head, and looked at him absent-mindedly. Nonsense, my sister Ruyan is always 18 years old. Ning Chuan smiled and let go. When the siblings reunited, Mu Wanqing, who was about to rush into the room to get her pistol, was stunned. Wait a minute, Sister Ruyan, he is your brother. Wanqing, Xiao Chuan, it seems that you two don't know each other without fighting, let me introduce you. This is Ning Chuan, my brother, who just returned to China. This is Mu Wanqing, the tenant in the courtyard. Ning Ruyan hurriedly introduced them to the two. The misunderstanding was resolved, but Mu Wanqing was still furious. She glared at Ning Chuan and said to Ning Ruyan, Sister Ruyan, I'm going to take a shower first. You just said you wanted me to rub your back. Do you want more? Ning Chuan looked at Mu Wanqing's angry look and deliberately imitated her initial tone. Mu Wanqing turned around, gave Ning Chuan a middle finger, then rushed into the bathroom and slammed the door shut. Sister Ruyan, what's going on? Why is there a room in the yard that has been rented out? Is the family short of money? After Mu Wanqing entered the bathroom, Ning Chuan looked at Ning Ruyan in confusion. Oh, didn't you say you were going back to China last month? You said you didn't have a girlfriend, so I thought about finding some for you. But if I don't spend a long time with girls, I don't know what they are like. Are their living habits good? What's their personality like? Are they easy to get along with? Do they look good without makeup? Can they do housework? Is their figure original? I thought, aren't there several empty rooms in the yard? Why not find some young and beautiful girls who don't have boyfriends, and then rent these rooms to them? Then, I will help you slowly examine them and choose the best one to be your girlfriend. Isn't that wonderful? As Ning Ruyan said, she took out her mobile phone, opened a rental app, clicked it and handed it to Ning Chuan. Ning Chuan took a look and found that the rental app had indeed posted rental information for his own courtyard. Good house for rent, only for women. Unmarried and boyfriend free, age 16 to 28. Tenants are given a blind date opportunity. 9 points for appearance, half rent, free water and electricity. Chapter 2. Are you not afraid of electricity? Ning Chuan was speechless after reading it. Sister Ruyan, are you so anxious to find a girlfriend for me? Nonsense, Grandpa is gone now, and there are only 2 of us at home. I'm your sister, if I don't worry about you, who will? I also want to hold my nephew soon. Ning Ruyan stretched out her onion-like fingers, tapped Ning Chuan's chest, and added, of course, a niece is also fine, both men and women can pass on the family line. Ning Chuan smiled bitterly. After not seeing each other for 8 years, Ning Ruyan seemed more like a mother to him. Ning Chuan grew up with Ning Ruyan and his grandfather. His grandfather never mentioned his parents. Later, Ning Chuan went to his master in the mountains and learned a lot of skills, including medicine, martial arts, and even magic. Then, according to his master's instructions, he went overseas to explore and carry out missions. When he came back, 8 years had passed. Last month, his grandfather suddenly left him a message, saying that he was going to travel around the world and Ning Ruyan was the only one left at home, so he asked him to come back and take care of Ning Ruyan. At that time, Ning Chuan was on a mission overseas. When he finished his mission and rushed back to Jiangcheng, it was now. Sister Ruyan, I think you should get married and have a child as soon as possible. This might be faster. Ning Chuan said with a deliberate smile. Ning Ruyan's face immediately turned red, and she soon realized that Ning Chuan was teasing her. She stretched out her jade hand and pinched Ning Chuan's ear. Xiao Chuan, you dare to make fun of your sister now? I think you are itching for trouble, right? Haven't you been spanked in a few years? Well. Ning Chuan was suddenly embarrassed. When he was a child and wore open crotch pants, he was once spanked by Ning Ruyan because he was too naughty. As a result, Ning Ruyan has been talking about this incident to this day. Well, you just took a shower, and I bought you some new clothes. Put them on and let me see them. Ning Ruyan pulled Ning Chuan into the room and brought out a stack of neatly arranged new clothes. Ning Chuan took a look and was amazed. All the clothes were in place from top to bottom and inside to outside. The one folded into a small square on top is a pair of men's underwear. Hurry up and change. Eh? You don't want me to get out of the way, do you? I'm your sister, I've seen everything when you were a kid. Ning Ruyan said this, but still walked out and closed the door. Okay, I won't watch it anymore, okay. I'm going to cook, you take a rest first. This Sister Ruyan. Ning Chuan smiled bitterly and shook his head. He changed into a new set of clothes that Ning Ruyan bought for him. He was about to go to the kitchen to help when the phone suddenly rang. After taking a look at the number, Ning Chuan answered the call. Old man, didn't you say that I have completed 99 missions and can retire? I want to live a good life with my family from now on. What? There's one last mission. Make it 100? Are you OCD? No way. If you don't do it, then you'll reveal my information to Catherine, the underground queen of Shizhou. Teresa, the Pope's daughter. Masako Haru, the princess of Sakura country. Lee Hyun, the daughter of the top chaebol in South Korea? And. Oh my god. Are you kidding me? If these women knew about me and came to my house, wouldn't Jiangcheng be in turmoil? Old man, do you really not understand, or are you pretending not to understand? It is the most difficult to accept the kindness of a beautiful woman. Okay, I'll take it. But first, let me make it clear, this is really the last mission. Tell me, which terrorist leader are we going to kill this time? Or which head of state are we going to rescue? What? Protecting a woman. After hanging up the phone, Ning Chuan was speechless. Let him, the god of death Shura, from the Great Snow Mountain, be a bodyguard for a woman. Isn't this woman blessed by her 8 lifetimes? Fortunately, the mission deadline was only 1 month. After completing the mission, he would take Sister Ruyan to travel around the world. Ning Chuan, Ning Ruyan and Mu Wanqing had dinner together. Originally, there was a tenant named Sophie who had already moved into the courtyard, but Sophie was a flight attendant and was often away, or she would come back late at night. During the meal, Ning Ruyan kept trying to bring Ning Chuan and Mu Wanqing together. However, Mu Wanqing bit off a cucumber with such force that it looked as if she wished she was biting Ning Chuan. Ning Chuan really doesn't like Mu Wanqing, the violent policewoman. As a woman, she should be as gentle as water, like Sister Ruyan. After dinner, Ning Ruyan left first as she had something else to do, and Mu Wanqing also grabbed her gun and handcuffs and went out to work overtime. Ning Chuan was bored and walking alone on the streets of Jiangcheng with his hands in his pockets. I haven't been back for 8 years, and the streets and alleys of Jiangcheng have changed a lot. Ning Chuan unknowingly walked to the entrance of a small alley and was sighing when suddenly a woman's scream was heard not far ahead. What are you doing? Who are you? Help! Ning Chuan frowned and looked over. He saw a few yellow-haired hooligans stopping a beautiful woman in the deep alley. They said obscene words and pushed the beautiful woman into a corner. A few rough hands were about to reach out to the beautiful woman's chest. Ning Chuan doesn't like to meddle in other people's business, but he still has to take care of things like this. Hey, you guys, if you want to vent, you can find someone who sells it. It's not good to use force like this. Several thugs turned around and saw that Ning Chuan was alone. They immediately showed ferocious expressions. I don't like those who sell, I like those who force. What's your business? Get out of here. If you meddle in other people's business again, I will kill you. Ning Chuan frowned, shook his head and walked forward. Several thugs immediately put down the beauty and raised their fists to hit Ning Chuan. Bang! Ning Chuan raised his hand and slapped the gangster in front of him, sending him flying against the wall. Bang, bang, bang. After 3 more punches and 2 more kicks, the thugs were all knocked to the ground, wailing in pain. Can you go now? Ning Chuan smiled and said. Go away, let's go away now. A few thugs quickly got up and ran away, and soon disappeared. Are you okay? Ning Chuan looked at the beautiful woman huddled in the corner with her clothes torn, so he kindly took off his coat and wanted to put it on her. Unexpectedly, the woman screamed again, "Don't come over here! You rascal! Help! Someone come!" Ning Chuan said, "Those thugs have already left." The woman's name was Qin Shiyun. She angrily said, "Do you think I'm an idiot? You are obviously in the same group with those bastards. Otherwise, how could you show up by chance and beat them off so easily? And you were wearing brand new clothes. You beat off 4 or 5 thugs without getting a speck of dust on your face." Qin Shiyun asked repeatedly, and it was obvious that she thought Ning Chuan was an accomplice of several gangsters. "Okay, if you don't believe me, forget it. I'm leaving now." Ning Chuan just felt that the so-called Big Bear has no brains was really the truth. It was true for Mu Wanqing before and for this strange woman too. Shrugging, Ning Chuan turned and left. However, the moment Ning Chuan turned around, Qin Shiyun, who had been hiding in the corner, suddenly stood up, took out a small anti-wolf electric baton from her bag, and then poked Ning Chuan fiercely. Sizzle! The blue electric current suddenly hit Ning Chuan. "You?" Ning Chuan turned around while being electrocuted and looked at Qin Shiyun angrily. The next second, a strange phenomenon occurred. A faint light flashed in the depths of Ning Chuan's eyes, and then the scenery in front of Ning Chuan suddenly became transparent. Less than half a meter in front of Ning Chuan, Qin Shiyun's clothes also quickly became illusory, disappeared, transparent. You're not afraid of electricity." Seeing that Ning Chuan did not fall down after being hit by her electric baton, Qin Shiyun was shocked and scared. The next second, Ning Chuan frowned and raised his hand to grab Qin Shiyun's bare mouth. Chapter 3 Stieg des Sophie. Hiss. The sound of clothes being torn was heard. "R. Help!" Qin Shiyun screamed, the electric baton in her hand fell, and she closed her eyes in horror. However, after a few seconds, the situation that Qin Shiyun imagined, that she would be bullied by Xiongmouth, did not happen next. She opened her eyes in confusion, only to see Ning Chuan in front of her holding something the size of a pinky fingernail in his hand, which he crushed with a puff, emitting a wisp of black smoke. "You are so stupid, aren't you? You didn't even know someone had planted a bug on your underwear." Ning Chuan said this with a contemptuous tone, then looked at the electric baton that fell to the ground and said with even more contempt, "Is this an electric baton? Or did you take the wrong thing? Did you take something else? You hooligan! You pervert! You bastard!" Qin Shiyun was immediately ashamed and angry. Her electric baton was portable and more than 10 centimeters long. This hooligan must have mistaken it for that. But why did this guy act like nothing happened after being shocked by the electric baton? The stun gun must have not been charged for a long time and is out of power. Thinking of this, Qin Shiyun regretted it very much. She quickly took out another small bottle from her bag and sprayed it at Ning Chuan. Kai Kai. Anti-wolf spray. Ning Chuan quickly stepped back. It would be uncomfortable if this stuff got into his eyes. While Ning Chuan was retreating, Qin Shiyun bent down and ran out of the alley quickly like a frightened deer, and disappeared in a moment. Ning Chuan did not chase after him. He threw away the bug that he had crushed and picked up the stun baton. Pink, about 10 centimeters long, and a little thicker than a mineral water bottle cap. Just now when I was shocked by this electric baton. Not only am I not afraid of electricity, but I can also see through things after being electrocuted. Ning Chuan frowned, pointed the electric baton at himself again and pressed the switch. Sizzle. With a crackling sound, blue electric current flowed into Ning Chuan's body again. In Ning Chuan's eyes, everything around him suddenly became transparent again. Then, a naked woman suddenly appeared in Ning Chuan's sight, striding towards him, getting closer and closer. Soon, it came in front of him, occupying most of his field of vision. Oh my God, is this an illusion? Why do I feel that this woman looks a bit like that violent policewoman Mu Wanqing? What a hot body! Could it be that after being electrocuted, in addition to being able to see through things, I will also have hallucinations? Ning Chuan thought to himself and quickly released the switch of the electric baton. The sizzling sound disappeared immediately, but Mu Wanqing in front of him did not disappear. It's just that the clothes on my body suddenly appeared from nothing. Is it you? Is it you? They both spoke at the same time, looking at each other in surprise. You pervert, why are you hiding here and poking yourself with a pink stick? Mu Wanqing frowned and looked at Ning Chuan in confusion. What are you doing here so late at night? Ning Chuan didn't answer but asked instead. He couldn't explain it clearly to this woman. I was patrolling nearby and just heard a woman shouting for help. There must be a gangster nearby. Eh? Could it be that you are the gangster? Mu Wanqing looked at Ning Chuan with an unfriendly expression, one hand already reaching for the handcuffs at her waist. What? You still want to cuff me? Ning Chuan looked at Mu Wanqing as if she were an idiot. Mu Wanqing looked around and didn't see any signs of a woman being knocked unconscious and hiding. She glared at Ning Chuan fiercely and said, "Don't let me catch you, otherwise, I will definitely arrest you." After Mu Wanqing left, Ning Chuan shocked himself with the electric baton several times and found that he seemed to have the ability of X-ray vision. However, this ability of perspective has its limitations, that is, it requires being electrocuted. And every time after being shocked, I have to concentrate to maintain my perspective. In addition, even if you maintain a state of concentration, it can only last for a maximum of 5 minutes at a time, and only 3 times a day. I never thought that such a magical thing would happen to me. Ning Chuan shook his head, a little bit unable to believe it. However, when I thought about the more miraculous things I had encountered, it seemed nothing. It was already late at night when Ning Chuan returned to the courtyard. He tiptoed back to his room. When I got up early the next morning, Ning Ruyan had already prepared breakfast. You little brat, what time did you come back last night? You went out to fool around on your first night back. Let me tell you, you have to be careful with those girls out there whose backgrounds you don't know. Only girls who can live in the yard are the ones you should consider. These are all carefully selected by me for you. Ning Ruyan served Ning Chuan some porridge while speaking earnestly. Sister Ruyan, you said that violent policewoman was carefully selected by you? Your taste can't be that bad, right? Ning Chuan felt a headache. Although Wanqing has a bad temper, she is very good in other aspects. You can't choose a perfect wife, right? You might end up being left alone. There is no perfect woman in this world. Ning Ruyan handed the porridge to Ning Chuan. Who said that? Sister Ruyan, aren't you a perfect woman? Ning Chuan took the porridge and said with a smile. Ning Ruyan picked up a meat bun and stuffed it into Ning Chuan's mouth. Stinky Sichuan, you only know how to talk nonsense. After breakfast, Ning Chuan was about to go out when a tall woman dragged a small suitcase into the yard. Judging from the woman's uniform and the scarf around her neck, she should be the stewardess named Sophie. Sophie, come here, let me introduce you. This is my younger brother, and he is also the landlord of this courtyard. His name is Ning Chuan. Sichuan, this is Sophie, she's a stewardess for Air China and often flies around the world. Ning Ruyan quickly introduced them to the two of them. Sophie has a tall figure, elegant temperament, a perfect face and an appearance score of over 9. Of course, the stewardess uniform adds a lot of points. Hello. Hello. The two men reached out and shook hands. Sophie was a little tired and said apologetically, Sister Ruyan, Ning Chuan, I'm sorry, I just flew an international flight and I have to catch up on some sleep. After saying that, Sophie returned to her room, and Ning Chuan also went out and came to Chiang Mai building in the city center according to the address given by his master. The woman he wants to protect is the female president of Chiang Mai Company. Ning Chuan entered the building, walked to the front desk, and was about to speak. Are you also here to apply for the security guard position? Wait over there. The receptionist pointed to the side without even looking up. Next to them, a dozen strong men were standing there, waiting for something. I'm not here to apply for the security guard position. I'm here to see your CEO Qin. Ning Chuan shook his head. Looking for our President Qin? Do you have an appointment? The receptionist frowned. No. Ning Chuan shook his head. I'm sorry, you can't see our President Qin without an appointment. The receptionist shook her head. I'll go find it myself. Ning Chuan walked straight in. He was their Shura, the god of death, of the great snow mountain, and he condescended to protect a woman, but he even needed an appointment. Hey! No! You can't break in. The receptionist was suddenly anxious and wanted to stop him, but she couldn't even touch the corner of Ning Chuan's clothes. She hurriedly shouted to the strong men who came to apply for the security guard position, Quick, stop him. Whoever stops him will pass the interview. Whoosh! A dozen strong men rushed towards Ning Chuan at the same time without saying a word. Tian My Company is very famous in Jiangcheng. Because its main business is beauty products, there are many beautiful women in the company, and the female president, Ms. Qin, is an even more stunning beauty. Therefore, being able to work as a security guard in Tian My Company definitely puts you at the top of the contempt chain in the Jiangcheng security industry. Now, as long as I can stop the man in front of me, I can pass the security interview. This is a great opportunity. Chapter 4: Sit on the hands. I advise you to go through the formal interview process. You won't be able to pass my interview here. Ning Chuan turned around and grinned at the dozen or so strong men rushing towards him. Boy, I have to thank you for giving us the best opportunity to enter Tian My Company. A dozen reserve security guards laughed together and waved their huge fists. Bang, bang, bang. R. There was a muffled sound, followed by a scream. Half a minute later, the dreams of more than a dozen prospective security guards to join Tian My Company were shattered, and they lay on the ground in a mess. I told you to go through the formal interview process, but you insisted on taking a side path. What happened now? Ning Chuan smiled, turned and walked inside. Behind me, the receptionist was so frightened that her hands and feet were cold. Administrative department. There seems to be a problem with the power circuit in my office. Go to the security team and ask if there is anyone who knows how to be an electrician to come up and help me check it out. In the president's office, a woman was talking on the phone with her back to the door, facing the French window. She is the famous beautiful president of Tian My Company, Ms. Qin. Knock knock knock. 2 minutes later, there was a knock on the door. Huh? The administration department is pretty efficient. Come in and check the lines quickly, Mr. Qin said without turning his head. Ning Chuan pushed open the door and was about to come in, but he saw 2 electric wires sticking out of the wall next to the desk, exposed outside. This is a bit dangerous. Ning Chuan originally came to protect Mr. Qin, so he naturally had to eliminate such hidden dangers. He reached out and turned off the circuit breaker outside the door, then walked into the office, squatted down beside the desk, and started dealing with the 2 exposed wires. What's going on with this line? At this time, President Qin walked towards Ning Chuan and asked. It's a minor problem, it will be fixed soon. Ning Chuan looked back. Is it you? Is it you? They both exclaimed at the same time. You pervert. Bastard. How dare you follow me to my company? Qin Shiyun said angrily. It turns out that the beautiful president of Tian My Company, Ms. Qin, is the beautiful woman, Qin Shiyun, whom Ning Chuan rescued last night. I'm not following you. I'm here to protect you. Ning Chuan shook his head. So his target was this big and brainless woman. But she had a strong sense of safety and always carried an anti-wolf baton and anti-wolf spray in her bag. Har har, you said you didn't follow me. Go tell my company's security team that. Qin Shiyun sneered, took out her cell phone and made a call. Security team, send someone to my office immediately. After saying that, she walked to the sofa beside her and was about to sit down. At this moment, the circuit breaker outside the door suddenly bounced and closed by itself. The wire in Ning Chuan's hand was instantly electrified. Sizzle. Electricity surged into Ning Chuan's hands, and his vision immediately became transparent. Ning Chuan was facing Qin Shiyun at this time, and his eyes instinctively looked down. He instantly saw a dark blue steel needle standing upright and hidden in the sofa cushion where Qin Shiyun was about to sit. Half a second later, Qin Shiyun sat down on the steel needle. Ning Chuan's face changed, he threw away the wire with both hands, and shot towards Qin Shiyun like an arrow. R. Qin Shiyun had just started to sit down when she was startled and leaned back. I was about to sit down on the sofa cushion. Swish. Ning Chuan accelerated again and rushed to Qin Shiyun in an instant. He hugged her with his left hand and stretched out his right hand towards the sofa cushion. Puff. Qin Shiyun was hugged by Ning Chuan, but she still sat down. Ah! The next second, Qin Shiyun screamed, and her whole body bounced up like a spring. She covered her butt with one hand, pointed at Ning Chuan's hand with shame, anger and shock, and screamed loudly, "Asshole! You despicable, shameless and vulgar hooligan! Pervert! I'm going to arrest you!" Qin Shiyun was so angry that her body couldn't help shaking. Just now, that bastard actually stretched out his hand on the sofa cushion the moment she sat down, causing her to sit on his hand. It's damn it! Even though I sat on the back of his hand, it is absolutely unforgivable. If I were you, I'd say thank you. Ning Chuan slowly withdrew his hand from the sofa cushion, stretched it in front of Qin Shiyun and spread it out. A 2 or 3 inch long steel needle, emitting a faint blue light, obviously poisoned. At the critical moment just now, Ning Chuan reached out and flattened the steel needle, thus preventing Qin Shiyun from being tragic. Hiss. Qin Shiyun's face turned pale immediately, and the consequences of if she really sat on this steel needle emerged in her mind. She couldn't help but shiver. But soon, she came to her senses and sneered, "Do you think I will believe you? This steel needle has been in your hand all along, right? Last night, you and your accomplices planned to play the hero saving the beauty trick on me, but I saw through it. Today, do you want to play a similar trick in front of me again? I'm telling you, I won't be fooled by you. You want to use such a trick to get close to me? Dream on. If it wasn't for protecting you, I really wouldn't want to get close to you." Ning Chuan shook his head and looked around. He was electrocuted just now and his ability of clairvoyance was activated again. If he concentrated, he could maintain it for 5 minutes. It was just right for him to see if there were any other hidden dangers in Qin Shiyun's office. When his eye swept over Qin Shiyun, Ning Chuan casually said, "Are you going on a date with someone today? What's the meaning? Why are you wearing a set of underwear if you're not dating someone?" Based on Ning Chuan's past experience, when you are dating a girl and at the end you undress and find that she is wearing a set of underwear, there is no doubt that the girl is the hunter and you are the prey. "You bastard!" Qin Shiyun took 2 steps back in shock, anger and shame, not understanding why Ning Chuan knew that she was wearing a set of underwear. "Did I just expose myself? Boss Qin." At this time, the security captain rushed in with a dozen security guards. "Quick! Arrest him and send him to the police station." Qin Shiyun raised her hand and pointed at Ning Chuan. Whoosh! The security guards immediately rushed forward, waving their fists, and tried to grab Ning Chuan. Ning Chuan stepped forward, flipped his palm, and the small electric baton that Qin Shiyun had used last night appeared in his hand. He then faced the security guards and used it to attack them. Sizzle! 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 The security guards seemed to be made of sand. They fell to the ground immediately after being hit by Ning Chuan's electric baton. In less than half a minute, more than a dozen security guards fell to the ground, foaming at the mouth and convulsing all over. "You security guards are worse than those job applicants out there." Ning Chuan electrocuted the last security guard to the ground and looked at Qin Shiyun. "You?" Qin Shiyun's face changed drastically, and she stepped back instinctively, saying fearfully, "You, what do you want to do to me? What do I want to do to you? Didn't I tell you? I'm here to protect you." Ning Chuan strode up to Qin Shiyun with an aggressive attitude, put his arm behind her and patted her on the back. Chapter 5: A mission that cannot be refused. "Asshole! I'm going to fight you." Qin Shiyun was almost going crazy and screamed in grief and anger. "This damn bastard! He actually untied his own." Just as Qin Shiyun turned around to fight Ning Chuan, she suddenly felt a small thing falling from her back, down her back to her waist, then rolled out from the gap in her clothes and fell to the ground. It was something the size of a little fingernail, almost exactly the same as what Ning Chuan found on Qin Shiyun's bra last night. Ning Chuan picked it up and pinched it with his index and middle fingers. Puff! A wisp of black smoke came out. "This piece of underwear of yours, last night they found a bug in the front, and today they found a bug in the back. You wore it for 2 days without any awareness. How thick are your nerves?" Ning Chuan looked at Qin Shiyun as if she were mentally retarded. This made Qin Shiyun feel even more angry. This bastard actually dared to slander her for not changing her underwear for 2 days. She couldn't help but retort, "This is not the same underwear. Idiot. I changed it this morning. That means that both of your underwear were bugged. How stupid does a woman have to be to have someone bug 2 consecutive pairs of underwear?" There was a hint of sympathy in Ning Chuan's eyes when he looked at Qin Shiyun. Qin Shiyun was so angry that she wanted to vomit blood. She gritted her teeth and said, "Don't try to trick me. You must have thrown the so-called eavesdropping device into my clothes just now." Ning Chuan shook his head and decided not to continue talking to her. Instead, he walked to her desk and opened the drawer. "Asshole! Who told you to touch my table?" Qin Shiyun shouted, trying to stop him. Bang! Ning Chuan had found another nail-sized bug in the drawer, took it out, crushed it and slammed it on the table. Qin Shiyun was stunned. Afterwards, Ning Chuan found 3 or 4 eavesdropping devices and 4 or 5 hidden pinhole cameras in various corners of Qin Shiyun's office. When he was doing the X-ray just now, he had already scanned the entire office. 7 or 8 eavesdropping devices and cameras were lined up in a row and placed in front of Qin Shiyun. Now, do you still think that I put all these there just now? Was it a deliberate trick to get close to you? Ning Chuan looked at Qin Shiyun with a smile. At this moment, no matter how slow Qin Shiyun's reaction was or how thick her nerves were, she finally came to her senses. Who are you? Qin Shiyun asked. Ning Chuan didn't say anything, but just glanced at the dozen or so security guards who had just gotten up, glared at him, and were ready to pounce on him again at any time. You go out first. Qin Shiyun said, gritting her teeth. But, Mr. Qin, your safety, said the security captain. Can you protect my safety just by being here? Qin Shiyun said angrily. The security captain looked at Ning Chuan with hatred, and had to leave in shame with his men. Tell me, who are you? Who asked you to come? What do you want to do? Qin Shiyun asked repeatedly as soon as the office door was closed. My name is Ning Chuan. I was sent by the Transparent Shield Security Company. My mission is to protect you for a month. Ning Chuan said calmly. Transparent Shield Security Company is one of the public incarnations of the Great Snow Mountain. When people from the Snow Mountain are on a mission to protect important targets but want to hide their identities, they will most likely use the name of the Transparent Shield Security Company. Transparent Shield Security Company? Who is the employer who sent you here for this mission? Qin Shiyun frowned. You have to ask the company. Ning Chuan shook his head. I don't need your protection, please go back. Qin Shiyun said again. I'm sorry, but you can only accept our company's protection, you can't refuse it. Ning Chuan smiled slightly. If even the missions of the Great Snow Mountain can be rejected, then what is it called the Great Snow Mountain? You? Qin Shiyun was so angry that her mouth moved up and down. But faced with this bodyguard who came uninvited and couldn't be driven away, she really had no way to deal with it. Okay, I'll call your company and ask your company to order you to go back. Tell me, what's your company's phone number? Qin Shiyun took out her cell phone. I don't know. Ning Chuan shook his head. What? Qin Shiyun widened her eyes. If you can contact our company and ask me to give up the mission, I will leave without saying anything. Otherwise, you should just accept my protection. Ning Chuan shrugged. You scoundrel. Qin Shiyun was extremely furious. Boss Qin, this is bad. Someone has reported that someone has planted a bomb in our company. The police bomb disposal experts are here. Let's evacuate the building. At this moment, the company's security manager pushed the door in hurriedly. What? A bomb? Qin Shiyun's face suddenly turned pale. It was a mess outside, with panicked voices coming one after another, and everyone was running downstairs in panic. Several security guards and assistants also rushed in, and without saying anything, they carried Qin Shiyun and rushed out. Amidst the chaos, Qin Shiyun was carried out of the company building. Outside the building, several police cars were already parked. Wanqing, take a group of people up. Special police and bomb disposal experts are conducting an intensive search. Mr. Qin, have all the people in your company evacuated? The leading captain walked up to Qin Shiyun, saluted, and asked. Managers of all departments, immediately count the number of people in your department. Qin Shiyun immediately said loudly. After saying that, he suddenly remembered something, looked around, and his heart skipped a beat. Ning Chuan, who tried to protect himself, he didn't seem to come out with him. At this time, Ning Chuan was indeed still in the building. Since he came to protect Qin Shiyun, and now that a bomb has been installed in Qin Shiyun's company, he naturally has to find the bomb. There is such a big building, and I don't know where the bomb is hidden. If it were before today, even Ning Chuan, the god of death Shura, would have to spend some time. But now, Ning Chuan has the ability of X-ray vision, so it won't take too much time for him to find the hidden bombs. Ning Chuan took out the portable electric baton, turned on the switch, and used it on himself. Sizzle. Amid the sound of electric current, a translucent spherical space with a radius of about 10 meters appeared in Ning Chuan's vision. The range that Ning Chuan can see through is about 10 meters away from his eyes. He concentrated and maintained his perspective, running down from the top floor to every floor of the building while looking around. 15th floor, 14th floor, 13th floor. When Ning Chuan ran to the 9th floor, he indeed found a black plastic bag hidden in the water dispenser in an office. Looking through the black plastic bag, a bomb suddenly appeared. Tick, tick, tick. The countdown timer on the bomb is still ticking. Ning Chuan's mental strength became more focused. Keep your gaze penetrating. Instantly, penetrate the surface of the bomb. Fuck. Ning Chuan couldn't help but swear. Chapter 6. I suspect you are teasing me. Ning Chuan's eyes penetrated the surface of the bomb and looked inside the bomb. He unexpectedly discovered that it was a fake. This so-called bomb is just a toy bomb with a countdown function. Ning Chuan frowned, walked to the water dispenser and was about to take out the fake bomb. Huh? Why are you here? At this time, a woman's voice sounded, full of doubt. Ning Chuan looked back and saw that it was the violent female police officer Mu Wanqing and several colleagues wearing bulletproof vests walking downstairs. Everyone in this building ran out when they heard there was a bomb. Why didn't you run out and instead stayed in the building? Mu Wanqing frowned again without waiting for Ning Chuan to speak. In his hand, he already raised the gun. Could it be that the bomb in this building has something to do with you? Mu Wanqing pointed the gun in her hand at Ning Chuan with a swish. The other male police officers were also led by Mu Wanqing and looked at Ning Chuan as if they were facing a great enemy. Ning Chuan frowned and pointed at the water dispenser. I was just passing by here and heard the sound of a timer, so I came to take a look. Mu Wanqing and several male police officers exchanged glances, and then a male police officer immediately stepped forward holding an explosion-proof shield and carefully opened the cabinet door under the water dispenser, revealing a black plastic bag. Tick! 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 The sound of countdown continued to come from the plastic bag. The other two male police officers stepped forward and carefully cut open the plastic bag. A bomb with a countdown immediately appeared in front of everyone. Report! Report! A bomb was found on the 9th floor. Quick, get the bomb disposal experts to the 9th floor. The bomb is hidden under the water dispenser. Everyone was shocked and immediately called for reinforcements on the intercom. Mu Wanqing quickly took out handcuffs and handcuffed Ning Chuan and herself together. Tell the truth. Did you plant the bomb? What was your purpose? How did you dismantle the bomb? Are there any other bombs? Mu Wanqing held the gun in her other hand, pointed it at Ning Chuan's head, and shouted angrily. Are you fucking crazy? I found something that looked like a bomb in the building, and you said I planted it. And you want to arrest me? Ning Chuan looked at Mu Wanqing as if she were an idiot. Why, do you still want to quibble? I'm sorry, come back to the police station with me, I will interrogate you slowly. Mu Wanqing sneered and asked the other male police officers to stay at the scene while she escorted Ning Chuan downstairs and outside. Ning Chuan. Outside the building, Qin Shiyun saw that Ning Chuan was being held at gunpoint by Mu Wanqing and handcuffed. She was stunned for a moment, frowned, and asked, what's going on? Is he an employee of your company? I found him acting suspiciously upstairs, and I seriously suspect that he is the suspect who planted the bomb. Mu Wanqing said. Him? Planting a bomb? That shouldn't be the case. Qin Shiyun frowned and recalled carefully. Although Ning Chuan's background was indeed suspicious, judging from his behavior, he had no intention of harming himself. On the contrary, it helped me avoid being hurt by the steel needle. Even though the steel needle incident could not be confirmed, I saw the bug and the pinhole camera with my own eyes. Although Ning Chuan is not an employee of our company, he should have no ill will towards me, and he would not be the one who planted the bomb in the company. After careful analysis, Qin Shiyun shook her head. After all, if Ning Chuan really wanted to do something bad to him, he could have just defeated the company's security guards. Why would he need to plant a bomb? And Ning Chuan himself was in the building. If he planted the bomb, wouldn't he be killed as well? Whether he is a suspect or not, I will thoroughly interrogate him when I get back to the police station. We will not wrongly accuse a good man, and we will never let a bad man go. When Mu Wanqing saw that Qin Shiyun was actually speaking for Ning Chuan, she immediately sneered, waved their handcuffed hands vigorously, and wanted to drag Ning Chuan to the police car nearby. However, when Mu Wanqing swung her arm vigorously, she felt her arm become lighter, and all her strength was used in the air. He turned around in shock and saw that the handcuffs on his wrists, which were originally used to handcuff his hands and Ning Chuan's hands together, were now empty, with only his hands left. Ning Chuan stood leisurely by the side, and there were no handcuffs on his wrists. How did you open the handcuffs? Mu Wanqing looked at Ning Chuan as if she had seen a ghost. Your handcuffs have become a spirit. They found out that I'm not a bad person, so they untied them themselves. Ning Chuan said with a smile. You? Mu Wanqing naturally couldn't believe such nonsense. She waved the handcuffs and was about to torture Ning Chuan again. Report. I want to report. Ning Chuan suddenly shouted to a square-faced male police officer in uniform not far away. Judging from the uniform of the male police officer, his rank must be higher than Mu Wanqing. What's going on? The square-faced man came over and asked seriously. Sir, I want to report. This Mu Wanqing is using public power to take revenge on her. Ning Chuan said loudly. Mu Wanqing got angry when she heard this, and said angrily, Ning Chuan, what nonsense are you talking about? How dare you frame me? Believe it or not, I will beat you up. Xiao Mu, shut up. Let others speak, the square-faced man shouted. Mu Wanqing had no choice but to shut up. Sir, this is what happened. Yesterday, I was taking a shower when Mu Wanqing suddenly broke into the bathroom and tried to do something bad to me. I rejected her sternly. But she wanted to attack me again and force me with force, but she couldn't beat me. That's how we became enemies. And today, in the building, she slandered me as soon as she saw me. Without any evidence, she said that I was the one who planted the bomb. She also used guns and handcuffs against me, a good citizen, in violation of the regulations. Ning Chuan said lightly. Mu Wanqing was furious and was about to explode on the spot. Xiao Mu, did this really happen? Did you break in when this gentleman was taking a shower? Did you lay a hand on him? The square-faced man looked at Mu Wanqing seriously. Although I broke in and took action, Mu Wanqing wanted to explain. So, this gentleman did not lie. Then you said he was the one who planted the bomb and used police equipment against him. Do you have any evidence? The square-faced man interrupted. I haven't found any evidence yet. Mu Wanqing lowered her head. Nonsense. Why don't you apologize to this gentleman now? Said the square-faced man in a deep voice. Following the order from the square-faced man, Mu Wanqing reluctantly walked in front of Ning Chuan and said, I'm sorry. Then he gritted his teeth and said in a very small voice, just wait and see, you bastard, I will catch you sooner or later. What did you say? Are you trying to find fault with me? Madam, I seriously suspect that you are teasing me or even harassing me by name. Ning Chuan said seriously. Chapter 7 Take a photo worth $5 million. Damn you. Mu Wanqing was so angry that her chest heaved violently, but she had no choice but to give up at this point. She was afraid that if she said a few more words to Ning Chuan, she would really not be able to control herself and attack him. Her superiors are still here, and if she is seen attacking citizens without evidence, she will be in trouble. At this time, Li Chuang, the security manager of Qianmai Company, came over and whispered to Qin Shiyun, Boss Qin, it's too chaotic here. I don't know if there are any other dangers besides the bomb. Otherwise, I'll take you home first. Okay. Qin Shiyun nodded and got into Li Chuang's car. Li Chuang sat in the driver's seat and was about to start the car and leave when the back door was suddenly opened. Then, Ning Chuan sat down. Qin Shiyun, who was originally sitting in the back row, screamed and quickly moved aside. If she hadn't moved away quickly, Ning Chuan would have almost sat on her lap. Ning Chuan, what are you doing? Get out of here. Qin Shiyun's face flushed and she shouted angrily. Brother, this is Mr. Qin's special car, you'd better get off quickly. Li Chuang turned around and frowned. You are leaving here anyway, so take me with you. Ning Chuan said with a grin. You? Qin Shiyun had no choice but to let Li Chuang drive. The car sped away, speeding all the way. Where are you going? Get off the car as soon as you get to your destination. Qin Shiyun frowned and said to Ning Chuan. Didn't I say I would protect you? Wherever you go, I will go. Ning Chuan said as a matter of course. Scoundrel. Qin Shiyun snorted coldly. Li Chuang in front of him heard this and raised the corners of his mouth slightly, revealing a barely perceptible hint of mockery. Ha! Li Chuan, where are you driving to? Isn't this my way home? Qin Shiyun noticed the scenery on the roadside and suddenly frowned. But Li Chuan did not answer her. He just drove forward on his own, even faster. Parking. Qin Shiyun's heart sank, and she shouted again, having a bad feeling. But Li Chuan seemed to be deaf and drove the car to a secluded place on the outskirts of the city. Then he slammed on the brakes and stopped the car. Li Chuan, what do you want to do? Qin Shiyun opened the car door and tried to escape, but she found that 6 or 7 strong men had surrounded the car, each holding a shining dagger in his hand. Boss Qin, I'm sorry. Someone offered me 5 million to buy a photo of you. I really want to earn the 5 million, but I don't have a photo of you, so I had to use this method to take a photo of you. Li Chuan slowly got out of the car, took out his mobile phone and turned on the camera. Qin Shiyun's face turned pale immediately. She knew without thinking that this photo must not be an ordinary photo. The photos you want to take, aren't they nude photos? Qin Shiyun was feeling nervous when Ning Chuan got out of the car and said with a smile. Ning Chuan, are you also in cahoots with Li Chuan? Qin Shiyun's heart sank to the bottom. Boy, who are you? Do you also want to see Boss Qin's beautiful body? Li Chuan sneered and winked at the 2 strong men beside him. The 2 strong men immediately surrounded Ning Chuan from the left and right. I don't want to. Ning Chuan shook his head, because I've seen it a long time ago. It doesn't matter. You've seen it before. I'll treat you to a meal and ask you to see it again. Li Chuan grinned grimly and signaled the 2 strong men who walked beside Ning Chuan to take action. Whoosh! Whoosh! 2 strong winds came, and 2 strong men, one on the left and one on the right, waved their fists at the same time and rushed towards Ning Chuan. Ning Chuan simply stretched out his left and right hands as if he was stretching, then grabbed the heads of the 2 strong men like lightning and slammed them hard in the middle. Boom! A very dull sound. The 2 strong men's heads hit each other, their bodies went limp, and they fainted at the same time. Let's go together. Li Chuan shouted loudly and rushed up with the remaining 4 or 5 men. But how could they be Ning Chuan's opponent? In less than half a minute, everyone, including Li Chuan, lay on the ground. You were the one who did the bomb in the building, weren't you? You used the bomb to scare her out first, then tricked her into getting in your car during the chaos, and then took her to a remote place and took nude photos of her? Is that right? Tell me, who was the mastermind behind this? Ning Chuan picked up a dagger, played with it in his hand, and sneered. Li Chuan said stubbornly, I won't tell you. Chapter 8 Don't attract any attention anymore. I believe the security team should have an impression of Ning Chuan's skills, so Zhang Yang, you should have no objection. As for what Qiu Shui said about being careless, Ning Chuan's actions have proved that he is reliable. I don't think there is anything careless about it. It's settled then. From now on, Ning Chuan will be the security manager of Chiang Mai Company. Qin Shiyun waved her hand and said without any doubt. After all, she is a female president, so she does have some courage. Ning Chuan frowned and was about to say that he was only responsible for Qin Shiyun's safety, and he was not the security minister or something like that. Suddenly, a figure walked in from outside. He was wearing an expensive suit, his hair was combed meticulously, and he had a handsome smile on his face. It was Wu Xiaoyu, the son of the Wu family in Jiangcheng. The Wu family, to which Wu Xiaoyu belongs, is a well-known wealthy family in Jiangcheng. Several shopping malls in the center of Jiangcheng are opened by the Wu family. The Wu family is also the largest distributor of Chiang Mai Company. Therefore, although Wu Xiaoyu is not a member of Chiang Mai Company, almost no one dares to provoke him every time he comes to Chiang Mai Company. Shiyun, I heard that someone planted a bomb in your company. Are you okay? Shiyun, you must be frightened, right? Why don't I treat you to lunch at noon to help you calm down? Wu Xiaoyu strode over and reached out to grab Qin Shiyun's hand. Mr. Wu, the police have already dealt with the bomb issue. You don't need to worry about it. You don't need to eat. Qin Shiyun took a step back indifferently and refused. Qin Shiyun's refusal made Wu Xiaoyu feel a little embarrassed, and he frowned and said, Shiyun, if you are unwilling to even do such a small thing as having a meal with me, then there is no need for our 2 families to continue to cooperate. Wu Xiaoyu's words were already a naked threat. The Wu family was the largest channel for Chiang Mai's product sales. Once the Wu family terminated the cooperation, Chiang Mai would suffer heavy losses. Mr. Wu, business is business, what does it have to do with eating? I don't think Mr. Wu will terminate the cooperation with my company just because of a meal. Qin Shiyun frowned slightly and spoke neither humbly nor arrogantly. Although Wu Xiaoyu is a member of the Wu family, he is not the one in charge of the Wu family, so Qin Shiyun is not afraid of him. Shiyun, what if I must have dinner with you today? Wu Xiaoyu's face darkened, and he stepped forward again, approaching Qin Shiyun. Zhongyang. Qin Shiyun quickly took 2 steps back and shouted. Zhongyang was about to reach out to stop Wu Xiaoyu. Wu Xiaoyu glared at him. Zhongyang, you dare to stop me? I dare not, Mr. Wu, I dare not. Zhongyang shuddered with fear and stepped back instinctively. Wu Xiaoyu is not someone that Zhongyang, a mere deputy manager of the security department, can afford to offend. Wu Xiaoyu smiled triumphantly, stretched out his hand, and tried to forcefully pull Qin Shiyun again. The next second, Ning Chuan stepped aside and stood in front of Wu Xiao. Since Mr. Qin has said that he doesn't want to have dinner with you, you'd better not be so shameless. Ning Chuan said coldly. Who are you? A new security guard. You dare to stop me? Do you believe that I will make it impossible for you to survive in Jiancheng? Wu Xiaoyu was stunned and said angrily. This is our company's new security manager, Ning Chuan. He is from my company and I pay him a salary. Why do you, Mr. Wu, make him unable to survive? Qin Shiyun said coldly. HMPH, you're just a small security guard, what can I do to you? Get out of here quickly. Wu Xiaoyu pointed at Ning Chuan's nose. No one can point fingers at me. Ning Chuan said calmly. After saying that, he raised his hand and slapped Wu Xiaoyu hard in the face. Bang! The sound was clear and loud, shocking everyone present. You dare to hit me? Wu Xiaoyu was stunned by the slap. You dare to hit Master Wu? Zhongyang was also dumbfounded. Ning Chuan. You bastard! How dare you hit young Master Wu? Kneel down and apologize to young Master Wu. Li Qiushui pointed directly at Ning Chuan and screamed. You're going to point at me too? Ning Chuan turned his head and glanced at Li Qiushui. Li Qiushui was so frightened that she quickly withdrew her hand, fearing that Ning Chuan would slap her in the face. Damn little security guard. Do you know who I am? I am the young master of the Wu family in Jiancheng. Wu Xiaoyu covered his face and looked at Ning Chuan viciously. Wu family? Who the hell is that? Ning Chuan raised his eyebrows. How dare you say that the Wu family is just a bunch of nobody? You damn thing, don't you want to live? Wu Xiaoyu roared. Bang! Ning Chuan raised his hand and slapped Wu Xiaoyu on the other side of his face, then said calmly, I don't like people scolding me. You? Wu Xiaoyu was slapped again and was so angry that he almost went crazy. He yelled at Qin Shiyun, why don't you tell your security guard to kneel down and apologize? Unexpectedly, Qin Shiyun said with a cold face, First, Ning Chuan is the security manager of my company, not a small security guard. Second, Ning Chuan hit you to protect me, I don't think he needs to apologize to you. What? Wu Xiaoyu was stunned, and then said in disbelief, Qin Shiyun, you are going against me for a little security guard. You'd better think it over. Are you really not afraid that the Wu family will terminate the cooperation with my company? I believe in Mr. Wu's vision. The cooperation between our my company and the Wu family is mutually beneficial if we unite, but will hurt if we separate. Qin Shiyun raised her head confidently. Okay, Qin Shiyun. I really didn't expect that you, a stinky bitch, would actually go against me just because of a little security guard. Could this little security guard be your gigolo? You bitch, you usually pretend to be so pure, but it turns out you are a slut who keeps a gigolo. Is this little security guard okay? Can he satisfy you? If not, Wu Xiaoyu was so angry that he kept swearing at Qin Shiyun. Ning Chuan frowned. To protect the target, we must not only protect it from harm, but also protect it from insult. Click. Ning Chuan took another step forward, grabbed Wu Xiaoyu by the collar, and slapped him left and right, giving him 7 or 8 slaps in a row. Wu Xiaoyu's face was beaten so hard that it was swollen like buns on both sides. He could no longer curse, so he was picked up and thrown out of the company. Chapter 9 Poor Woman. Qin Shiyun has lived for more than 20 years, but this is the first time someone says she is a catcher. This bastard. Qin Shiyun was so angry that her mouth moved up and down. If it wasn't for the fact that this bastard had just saved her, she would have taught this bastard a lesson. Do what you are supposed to do and don't talk nonsense. Qin Shiyun finally suppressed her anger, squeezed out a few words from between her teeth, and then returned to her office with a grim face. Behind them, Li Qiushui and Zhang Yong looked at each other. This guy named Ning Chuan first beat up Wu Xiaoyu, and then spoke to Qin Shiyun so frivolously, but Qin Shiyun didn't get angry. She just told him to stop talking nonsense. What is going on? Who exactly is this Ning Chuan? Next, Zhang Yong took Ning Chuan to the security department to familiarize himself with the environment. Of course, Ning Chuan also saw the security captain who had been beaten to a pulp by him not long ago, as well as the dozen or so security guards. The security captain and a dozen security guards were discussing how to take revenge, but when they saw that Ning Chuan had suddenly transformed into their security manager, they immediately realized that revenge was hopeless. Ning Chuan had never intended to be the manager of the security department, and he didn't expect these ordinary security guards to protect Qin Shiyun, so after a quick look around, he moved a comfortable boss chair and came to the company's front desk. What are you going to do? The lady at the front desk said with some fear. She had already been informed that the guy she had arrested and kicked out in the morning had now transformed himself into the Minister of Security. Nothing, just do your thing, I'll just sit here, the air is good here. Ning Chuan smiled, adjusted the backrest of his boss chair, then raised his feet and placed them on the desk. He took out his mobile phone from his pocket, clicked on the author icon with the words 5v5 in the upper left corner, and started playing the game. Come on, see my Li by Pentacle show. Ning Chuan was playing games and talking to himself at the same time. The receptionist at the side patted the bear's mouth gently and breathed a sigh of relief. She thought Ning Chuan was here to cause trouble for her, but it turned out that he was here to be lazy and play games. However, is it possible that the new security manager Ning Chuan is not very smart, running to such a conspicuous place like the front desk to slack off and play games? Isn't it possible that he will be discovered and reported to Mr. Qin in a minute? In fact, the receptionist had no idea that the reason Ning Chuan chose the front desk was because he had already clearly seen the structure of the entire company building, so now he only needed to guard the front desk, which was the only way to enter and exit the company, to ensure Qin Shiyun's safety. Afterwards, Ning Chuan played games at the front desk for the entire day, which made the receptionist couldn't help but start to have wild thoughts. Could it be that Ning Chuan was interested in her? Otherwise, why would he just ignore other people's eyes and sit next to me and play games all day long? Is the game really that fun? It was not until the end of Get Off Work when Qin Shiyun came out in high heels that Ning Chuan put away his phone and followed her. Why are you following me? You're off work. I never take up employees' time after Get Off Work. Qin Shiyun frowned. You forgot that my mission is to protect you, so unless I am sure you are safe, I have to stay with you. Ning Chuan said. Then I'm going to drive home now. Do you want to go home with me too? Qin Shiyun sneered. Certainly. You. Think about the bug in your underwear, the camera in your office, the steel needle on the sofa, and the guy who wanted to take a picture of you before. Are you sure you don't need me to follow you? Ning Chuan said in an indifferent tone. Finally, Qin Shiyun compromised and said, then you can work part-time as my driver and take me home. 10 minutes later, Ning Chuan drove Qin Shiyun's Maserati out of the company garage. 20 minutes later, they arrived at Qin Shiyun's residence, a high-end apartment in the city center. Okay, now that I'm home, you should be sure that I'm safe, right? You can leave. Qin Shiyun couldn't wait to order him to leave. Don't panic, I haven't checked yet. Ning Chuan walked in by himself and walked around the house, from the living room to the kitchen, from the balcony to the bathroom, and the bedroom was naturally the most important place. During the inspection, Ning Chuan reached into his trouser pocket, grabbed the small electric baton, turned on the switch, and stunned himself again, using his last chance of X-ray vision today. Originally, even if he didn't use X-ray vision, there were many ways to check whether there was any danger in the house. However, that would be time-consuming and would require opening cabinets, drawers, etc. in the room. Besides, Ning Chuan is a lazy person. Now that he has the ability of X-ray vision, wouldn't it be a waste if he doesn't use it? Besides, this ability might be just like the abilities of certain parts of the body, which will decline if not used. While Ning Chuan was checking, Qin Shiyun followed nervously. Especially when checking the bathroom. Qin Shiyun usually lives alone, and on the bathroom counter, there is a newly bought epilator and other things. Seeing Ning Chuan's eyes stay on the epilator for a few seconds, Qin Xian's face suddenly turned red and she was about to step forward to put it away. Ning Chuan looked away again, and just said casually, "Wash it more carefully next time. There's still a hair stuck in it." Chapter 10, Sophie, They're completely different styles. However, before she could finish her words, Ning Chuan deftly tore off a few fingernail-sized things from the small clothes, crushed them and threw them on the ground. This thing can not only monitor, but also locate. A woman like you who is so thick-skinned actually had this thing installed on 5 or 6 pieces of underwear. TSK. Ning Chuan once again made a disdainful sound, making Qin Shiyun feel that he really regarded her as a moron. However, Qin Shiyun also became confused. So many of her underwear had eavesdropping devices installed. Who did this? Huh? This doll is quite cute. Ning Chuan grabbed a pink rag doll from Qin Shiyun's bedside and held it in his hands. The rag doll was almost the same size as a real person and more than 1 meter long. Qin Shiyun usually slept alone and was used to hugging the rag doll. When she saw Ning Chuan actually harming the rag doll, she immediately became angry. "Ning Chuan, even if you want to check, please don't touch my personal belongings, okay?" Qin Shiyun reached out to grab the doll. This rag doll has been held by Ning Chuan's dirty hands. How can she hold it while sleeping tonight? But unexpectedly, the next second, Qin Shiyun was so angry that she almost jumped up. Because Ning Chuan put his hand directly into the doll's mouth. "Ning Chuan! Qin Shiyun was about to lose her temper, but stopped halfway through her drink. He stood there in astonishment, staring in disbelief as Ning Chuan took out a pinhole camera from the rag doll's mouth. And the battery, transmitter, and other things connected to the back of the camera. All of these are hidden inside the doll's body. This. Qin Shiyun felt her heart sink in an instant. She wears pajamas and holds this doll in her arms every night when she sleeps. As it turned out, there was a camera hidden in the doll's mouth. God knows if this camera is an infrared camera that can be seen at night. If so, then wouldn't it be? Poor woman, tell me, your underwear, the doll on your bed, who has access to these things? Or, who gave these things to you? Or where did you buy them? Ning Chuan looked at Qin Shiyun with pity. Qin Shiyun's teeth were almost broken. These eavesdropping devices and cameras made her very angry, but Ning Chuan's eyes made her even angrier. She could clearly feel the pity in Ning Chuan's eyes. Qin Shiyun, doesn't need anyone's pity. I'll investigate what's going on with these things myself. Now that you've found all the bugs and cameras, can you leave? Qin Shiyun said in a cold tone. Are you sure you want to let me go? Are you sure there is no danger in your house anymore? Ning Chuan said. Qin Shiyun's face turned pale. When I think about it carefully, it is true. Eavesdropping devices and cameras have been quietly installed in my house, which means it is indeed unsafe here and I cannot stay here tonight. Otherwise, you can come back with me tonight. Just as Qin Shiyun was frowning and thinking, Ning Chuan spoke. Go back with you? What nonsense are you talking about? Are you crazy? Are you kidding me? Qin Shiyun was suddenly startled, took 2 steps back cautiously, and looked at Ning Chuan vigilantly. To be honest, I have a small yard with a lot of empty rooms. I'm looking for tenants right now. If you move in, I can protect you. Ning Chuan said seriously. Shut up. Ning Chuan, I hope you can get your identity straight. You are just the security manager of my company and my driver. You'd better not have any other intentions towards me. I will never let you succeed. Qin Shiyun suddenly said angrily. Ning Chuan's suggestion that Qin Shiyun should go back to live with him in the courtyard obviously made Qin Shiyun doubt Ning Chuan again. Take me to their hotel. Qin Shiyun picked up her small bag and walked out. Soon, Ning Chuan drove her to a 5-star hotel in the city center. Okay, I'll stay at the hotel tonight. There shouldn't be any safety issues as you said, right? You can leave now. In the room, after watching Ning Chuan finish the examination, Qin Shiyun pushed Ning Chuan out of the door without any hesitation and closed the door with a bang. What a neurotic woman. Outside the door, Ning Chuan shook his head, smiled again, and said to himself, fortunately, I have already installed this thing on her. Ning Chuan spread out his hand, and in his palm was a thin piece only half the size of his little fingernail. From a technical point of view, it was more advanced than the ones on Qin Shiyun before. Ning Chuan is an expert in this kind of thing. Ning Chuan walked out of the hotel, took out his cell phone and made a call. Hey, Ghost. Boss? You finally contacted me. Tell me, how can I assist you? A surprised voice came from the phone. Chapter 11, Speed Rush. The two looked at each other and recognized each other. But Ning Chuan had no intention of stepping forward to say hello, he just raised his glass from a distance. Hey, Sophie, what are you still hesitating about? Are you going to have the car race tonight? At this time, a group of young men and women next to Sophie said. Let's compete. Who's afraid of who? Sophie snorted coldly, put down her wine glass, and followed the group of young men and women out. When passing by Ning Chuan at the bar, Sophie hesitated for a moment, pretended to pull Ning Chuan's clothes casually, and whispered, "Come out with me and do me a favor, please." Considering that Sophie was his tenant after all, Ning Chuan followed her out. At some point, more than a dozen motorcycles were lined up on the road in front of the bar. There were already people sitting on each motorcycle, and there were two of them. The one in front holds the handlebars of the motorcycle, and the one behind hugs the waist of the one in front. Sophie, we have to bring someone with us in the car when we compete. I'll ride in the same car with you. You drive and I'll sit behind you. At this time, a young man with a greasy face and powdered hair was waiting in front of a fiery red heavy motorcycle. When he saw Sophie coming over, his lustful eyes rolled around, moving back and forth on Sophie's slender waist and bare mouth. It turned out that this was a motorcycle racing competition, and the red heavy motorcycle was Sophie's vehicle. According to the rules of the competition, each rider must bring someone with him. On other motorcycles, there were men riding in the front, with a delicate woman sitting in the back, hugging the man's waist tightly. And the man in front of her obviously had bad intentions towards Sophie. No need, Li Dao, I found someone, he can just sit behind me. Sophie looked at Li Dao with disgusted eyes, and then said to Ning Chuan, do me a favor and just sit behind me later, okay? Sophie, where did you find this weakling? You let him sit behind you? If he can't stand it later, he will vomit all over you. That will be a big deal. Li Dao looked at Ning Chuan with jealous eyes and said unwillingly. Hearing Li Dao's words, Sophie's eyelids twitched. She glanced at Ning Chuan and asked calmly, you don't get car sick, do you? Do you get sick on roller coasters? Except for the time when I was almost suffocated by two big headlights, I never felt dizzy at other times. Ning Chuan said seriously. Headlights. Fainted. Sophie obviously didn't understand, and waved her hand, okay, since you don't get car sick, come on up. After Sophie finished speaking, she straddled the fiery red modified Yamaha heavy motorcycle, held the handlebars with one hand, patted the back seat with the other hand, and looked at Ning Chuan, get on quickly. How about I drive in the front and you sit in the back? Ning Chuan suggested. Can you? Stop talking nonsense and come up. Sophie grabbed a helmet and put it on herself, then threw another to Ning Chuan. Well, since you strongly requested that I stay behind, then I will come up. Ning Chuan put on his helmet, straddled the bike, and sat behind Sophie. Well. The moment Ning Chuan sat down, Sophie felt a bump on her back. Her face immediately turned red and her body moved forward a little. Ning Chuan felt helpless. He really didn't mean it. Boom boom boom. As if to ease the embarrassment, Sophie in front suddenly stepped on the accelerator, and the motorcycle immediately emitted a thick black smoke. Li Dao on the side looked at Ning Chuan with envy and jealousy. He wished he could kick Ning Chuan down and sit behind Sophie himself. Okay, are you all ready? The game is about to start. At this time, a tall, grim-faced man riding on a black motorcycle spoke loudly. Behind him, a naked woman with very little clothing on her body was hugging him like an octopus. Sophie, where did you find such a pretty boy? I thought you would let Li Dao sit behind you if I stopped riding in your car. It seems that Li Dao is not so lucky. The exposed woman looked at Sophie and Ning Chuan and said with a sweet smile. Yang Fengjiao, I treated you as a sister, but you betrayed me. Sophie said coldly. It turned out that the person who was supposed to sit behind Sophie was Sophie's partner, the revealing woman Yang Fengjiao. As a result, Yang Fengjiao was bribed by Li Dao and suddenly proposed not to ride in Sophie's car anymore. In a drag racing competition, teams must be composed of 2 people, so Sophie had to either withdraw from the competition or let Li Dao sit behind her. This is what Yang Fengjiao and Li Dao had planned. Unfortunately, Ning Chuan's sudden appearance disrupted their plans. Boom boom boom. The participating motorcycles were lined up in a row, all roaring. The riders sitting in the front gripped the handlebars tightly with both hands, their buttocks facing backwards, and their bodies slightly arched. The women sitting in the back also wrapped their arms around the waists of the men in front of them, ready for a race. "You, step back a little," Sophie whispered. Ning Chuan moved back 5 centimeters very gentlemanly. Sophie then leaned forward, raised her buttocks and bent over, ready for racing. A sexy woman wearing only a bikini twisted her waist, walked to the front of a row of motorcycles, stood in the middle of the road, holding a piece of red cloth in her hand, which was not sure if it was underwear. After waving it in the air for a few times, she suddenly swung it down. Boom boom boom. A dozen motorcycles lined up in a row suddenly rushed out like a dozen arrows shot from a bow. "Hold my waist tight, don't get thrown off," Sophie said loudly, and the fiery red modified Yamaha under her crotch took off with a sprint, and the speed soared instantly. Ning Chuan grabbed Sophie's waist with both hands. Sophie's body shook instinctively, and the motorcycle swayed, but she narrowly avoided falling out. "Just concentrate on riding your bike, I'll let you find it back later," Ning Chuan said hurriedly. "You?" Sophie gritted her teeth and endured it, concentrating on operating the motorcycle. Boom boom boom. More than a dozen motorcycles roared and sped along the inner ring road. Sophie always felt a little awkward because there was a man sitting behind her. She was also afraid that Ning Chuan would lose his balance and be thrown out, so she didn't dare to make many big movements. Soon, she was overtaken by other motorcycles and fell behind. "Sophie, you lose." When the cold-blooded man passed Sophie, he spoke loudly. His voice came through the car speaker he specially modified, full of sarcasm. And Yang Fengjiao, Sophie's partner who was supposed to sit behind her, looked at Sophie with a smile and deliberately rubbed her chest against the cold man's back. Damn it. Sophie's face darkened, knowing that she was doomed to lose today. "You look like you want to win." At this time, Ning Chuan behind him suddenly said, "Nonsense. $10,000 for losing a game. Hundreds of thousands for winning a game," Sophie shouted. Chapter 12: Sophie's Provocation. "What are you going to do?" Sophie was surprised. The next second, Ning Chuan moved forward 5 centimeters, and a pair of big hands stretched out from both sides of Sophie's body, holding Sophie's hands respectively, and then through Sophie's hands, firmly grasped the handlebars. Both feet were lifted from the pedals at the back and stepped to the front. Sophie was originally tall, but at this moment she was surrounded and clamped by Ning Chuan from all sides. You can ride a motorcycle." Sophie was stunned. "Forget about riding a motorcycle. I can even fly a plane." Ning Chuan smiled slightly. "What?" Boom boom boom. The throttle was instantly increased to maximum. Sophie's body instinctively leaned back, and she felt a strong push on her back from Ning Chuan's chest, which made her feel a strange feeling. Boom boom boom. The throttle rose, continuing to squeeze out every bit of power from this red-modified Yamaha. There was a sharp turn ahead, and the dozen or so motorcycles ahead slowed down. However, Ning Chuan continued to keep the accelerator at maximum level, and the car body suddenly tilted towards the ground. 80 degrees, 60 degrees, 40 degrees, 30 degrees. The body of the red-modified Yamaha is almost parallel to the ground. Sophie felt like her face was about to touch the ground. R. The scream could no longer be suppressed and burst out from her cherry mouth. Boom boom boom. The car did not slow down at all, and quickly came out of the corner, with the body of the car standing up again. But after passing this bend, the red-modified Yamaha immediately moved from the end of the team to the middle position and continued to overtake. At this moment, a few hundred meters ahead, there was a sudden burst of red and blue flashing lights, accompanied by the sound of sirens. "All vehicles, stop immediately. Stop immediately." I saw several police cars lined up in a row, forming a wall of cars, completely blocking the road ahead. It was obvious that they were targeting this group of speeding gangs. Gar. Gar. The few motorcycles in front of the convoy braked suddenly, stopped, or ran to the opposite lane and turned around to escape. Only Ning Chuan, riding the red modified Yamaha under his crotch, stepped on the accelerator and rushed straight towards the row of cars blocking the road. What are you doing? Slow down. Slow down. Sophie was so frightened that she shouted a warning. But Ning Chuan seemed not to hear it and ignored it. He still kept the throttle at maximum and controlled the motorcycle to accelerate forward. It looked like the motorcycle was about to crash head-on into the car walls. Brake! Ning Chuan, stop messing around. Sophie was so frightened that her face turned pale. She moved her hands and pushed her body back, trying to push Ning Chuan away and regain control of the motorcycle. Woman, don't move. You can't bear the consequences of moving around. Ning Chuan said coldly and clamped his hands and feet together. Sophie was suddenly trapped in front of Ning Chuan, unable to move, and could only watch the motorcycle crash into the police car. Her adrenaline surged instantly. Compared with this, the feeling of being poked by Ning Chuan from behind was simply not worth mentioning. Ah! At the moment of collision, Sophie closed her eyes and screamed. At the same time, she felt her body lighten, and she and the motorcycle rose into the air. A few seconds later, the motorcycle fell heavily to the ground. Then it bounced twice, made a roar again, and rushed forward quickly, disappearing into the distance. Next to the police car behind her, Mu Wanqing stared blankly at the back of the red Yamaha. Is there anyone who can ride a motorcycle to this level? This is like a stunt from a movie. In addition, just now when the red motorcycle jumped over the wall of police cars, she and the man on the motorcycle exchanged glances. Although they were separated by helmets, she always felt that the man looked a bit like that annoying guy. How is this possible? On their way back to the bar in the red Yamaha, Sophie collapsed in Ning Chuan's arms. It was not until the motorcycle stopped that Sophie struggled to get off. Her face was flushed and she looked at Ning Chuan with a strange look. After returning to the bar and drinking several more drinks, she finally calmed down a little. Bang! The bar owner brought over a bag, threw it on the bar, and pushed it to Sophie. The bar owner was also the organizer of the race, and the bag contained the money won from the race, a total of more than 100,000 yuan. Sophie, come on, congratulations on winning the game, let's have a drink. Li Dao also came over with a bottle of foreign wine, poured a glass and pushed it in front of Sophie. Just now, because Ning Chuan took Sophie's car, he was left alone and had to stay in the bar and wait. As a result, they had to wait until Sophie came back ahead of everyone else. I didn't win the game, he won. Sophie shook her head and pointed at Ning Chuan. Him? Are you kidding me? This weakling can ride a bike. He's just sitting behind you as a tool. Li Dao sneered, then pointed at Ning Chuan and said, Boy, you have nothing to do here now, you can get out now. Have I ever told you that I don't like people pointing at me? Ning Chuan put down his wine glass, a harmless smile appeared on his face, and he looked at Li Dao and said. Li Dao said arrogantly, Really? What a coincidence, I like to point at people when talking to them, what? You have the guts. Before Li Dao finished speaking, Ning Chuan raised his hand and grabbed Li Dao's fingers and twisted them. Click! With a crisp sound, Li Dao's fingers suddenly bent 90 degrees towards the back of his hand. Arth, damn it! Li Dao suddenly let out a scream like a pig being slaughtered. As soon as he screamed, Ning Chuan snatched the bottle of foreign liquor from his hand and stuffed it directly into his open mouth, pressing it. Gulp 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 gulp. Foreign liquor continued to pour into Li Dao's throat, drowning out his screams. Damn it, or gulp gulp help or. The mouth of the wine bottle was inserted very deep into his throat, and Li Dao couldn't pull it out at all. He quickly drank the entire bottle of foreign wine. After Ning Chuan let go, Li Dao rolled his eyes and fainted, not sure if it was because of the pain or being drunk. Walk. Seeing that the situation was not good, Sophie took advantage of the chaos to pull Ning Chuan out of the bar, and rode away quickly on a motorcycle. After leaving, Sophie drove the car to a motorcycle shop to store it, and then returned to the courtyard with Ning Chuan. Thank you for today. Here's the money. You won it. In the courtyard, Sophie handed the bag containing hundreds of thousands of dollars to Ning Chuan. No, compared to the result of the game, I actually enjoy the process of the game more. Ning Chuan waved his hand and showed a savoring smile. The previous time when I was riding my bike at an extreme speed, there was a sexy and hot beauty in front of me, that feeling was really good. You? Sophie obviously recalled the previous scene and her face turned red. She then took back the bag and turned back into her room. Ning Chuan moved a recliner and sat in the middle of the courtyard to enjoy the cool air. The courtyard is a typical quadrangle structure, with rooms on all sides and a large open space in the middle. Although it is not luxurious, it is comfortable. Snap! 2 minutes later, Sophie changed into a very cool pajamas and walked out of her room. Looking at Ning Chuan's figure in the middle of the yard, Sophie's eyes flashed with a trace of confusion. She bit her lips, took light steps, and deliberately walked to the middle of the yard. After passing the recliner, Sophie turned around and looked at Ning Chuan. "Do you want to?" Sophie blinked her beautiful eyes, said something inaudibly, then her eyes drifted away and she moved her feet again, walking towards the bathroom in the corner of the yard. In an instant, Ning Chuan, who was sitting on the recliner, interpreted the meaning of the woman's eyes. Provocative? Flirting? Or saying, "Do you dare to come?" Chapter 13: The woman who dared to provoke Ning Chuan. Ning Chuan is not an animal who thinks with his lower body, but he is not a saint like Liu Xiaohui either. He will not force a woman, but he is never afraid of a woman's provocation. In other words, any woman who dares to provoke Ning Chuan must be prepared to pay the price. Ning Chuan showed a sly smile and strode towards the bathroom in the corner. At this time, in the bathroom, Sophie was about to close the door. Click! A hand reached in from the gap of the door that was about to close, and before she was surprised, it had already pulled the bathroom door open. Then he came in like the wind. Click! And with lightning speed, he locked the bathroom door again. R. Sophie's pretty face was red and white. The man who came in was naturally Ning Chuan. The bathroom in the corner of the courtyard is not big, but not small either, and is enough to accommodate 2 people. Even if you want to put on some show, it's more than enough. In the bathroom, the temperature rose rapidly, and the 2 breaths became heavier. Sizzle! Sophie's hand pulled the shower switch. Hot water spurted out, trying to extinguish the flames in my heart. However, she discovered that the fire in her heart seemed to be fueled by the hot water. At the same time, Grand Court Hotel. Qin Shiyun had just come out of the shower when she found a small card stuffed under the door. She walked to the door curiously, picked up the card and looked at it. Her pretty face suddenly blushed. All I saw was a photo of a muscular and powerful man. There were also words like door-to-door service written on the photo. At the bottom, there is a phone number. That's disgusting. Qin Shiyun quickly threw away the small card in her hand. The content on it made her feel sick. She didn't even want to keep the small card in the room, so she stuffed the small card out from under the door. However, just as she stuffed the small card through the crack in the door, the small card was stuffed back through the crack in the door. Qin Shiyun was immediately furious and was about to open the door and shout, but someone suddenly knocked on the door twice. Qin Shiyun shuddered with fright. "Please respect other people's work, okay?" A man's voice came from outside the door. As soon as he finished speaking, a dozen small cards were suddenly stuffed through the crack in the door, all of which showed half-naked muscular men. Qin Shiyun's face turned pale. How could she dare to open the door? She hurried into the room and was about to pick up the phone to call their hotel front desk, but the phone suddenly rang. After the call was connected, a man's voice came from inside. "Madam, do you need any service? The special kind?" R. Qin Shiyun felt as if she was bitten by a snake. She dropped the receiver, took out her cell phone, and subconsciously dialed Ning Chuan's number. "Ning Chuan, where are you? What are you doing? Come to the hotel. Quick!" After Qin Shiyun hung up the phone, she calmed down quickly. After calming down, she immediately regretted calling Ning Chuan. But now that the call has been made, I'll just have to let it go. At this time, in the bathroom, the air is filled with water vapor and white mist. Under the hot water from the shower head, Ning Chuan and Sophie were about to merge into one. Ring, ring, ring. A cell phone rang quickly. Sophie suddenly woke up like a frightened deer, quickly let go of Ning Chuan, and retreated to the corner. "Ning Chuan, where are you? What are you doing? Come to the hotel. Quick!" The call was connected. Qin Shiyun's panicked voice rang out, and then the call was hung up. Ning Chuan frowned. "Excuse me, I have to go out for a while." After Ning Chuan finished speaking, he opened the bathroom door and rushed out. "Ha! Xia Chuan? Why are your clothes all wet? Are you taking a shower?" Taking a shower with your clothes on. Where are you going so late? Ning Ruyan appeared in the yard at some point and looked at Ning Chuan in surprise. Sister Ruyan, I have to go out for something urgent and will be back later. When the words fell, Ning Chuan's figure had disappeared. What on earth is this Xie Chuan doing? He suddenly rushed out of the bathroom in the middle of the night, huh? Ning Ruyan shook her head and talked to herself, but suddenly stopped halfway through. Because she found that right under her nose, the bathroom door was pulled and closed from the inside. Ning Chuan just rushed out of the bathroom, and then the bathroom was closed from the inside. Doesn't this mean that Ning Chuan wasn't taking a shower alone just now? Ning Ruyan's eyes suddenly turned into crescents as she smiled. She sat down on the recliner calmly and waited patiently. Look at the person coming out of the bathroom in a while. Who is it? Sophie? Or Mu Wanqing? In the bathroom, Sophie held the door tightly with one hand and pressed the other hand on the wet bear's mouth, breathing heavily, and the bear's mouth heaved violently. Sophie, are you crazy today? You can do such a crazy thing. Even if it's because, that's not okay. It's just that guy actually stopped and left just because of a phone call. In the hotel room. So, you were just scared by these gigolos. Ning Chuan looked at the small cards scattered on the ground inside the door and found it a little funny. What cowherd? Qin Shiyun asked stupidly. Aren't these all the ones on the card? Gigolos who provide special services. Ning Chuan said. These bastards. Qin Shiyun gritted her teeth, extremely angry. I was actually treated as a woman who needed to purchase this kind of service. It's simply abominable. However, you should be thankful that you were able to resist the temptation and did not call for special services. If you really called, I can guarantee that the people who came would most likely not be the handsome guys on the card, but a group of people who were setting up honey traps. You should know that the methods used by honey traps against female customers like you are. For the purpose of safety education, Ning Chuan explained it in detail to Qin Shiyun. Stop it. I'm not that disgusting. I won't make these calls. Qin Shiyun's eyelids twitched and she was about to have a fit. Did Ning Chuan really think that Qin Shiyun was a woman who would buy that kind of service? Okay, stop talking. I've already called the hotel front desk and asked them to call the police. Qin Shiyun covered her ears and screamed. Call the police. Chapter 14, Girlfriend Tang Yuchan. Woman, have you grown your brain into a bear's mouth? Ning Chuan was speechless at Mu Wanqing's logic. I don't think Ning Chuan would be that serious. Qin Shiyun also frowned. Anyway, let's go to the police station first. We'll investigate thoroughly. We won't wrongly accuse a good guy, but we won't let a bad guy go either. When Mu Wanqing said the last half of the sentence, she stared at Ning Chuan fiercely. When she arrived at the police station, Qin Shiyun gave her statement and was soon released. Ning Chuan was taken to the interrogation room by Mu Wanqing, who wanted to interrogate him alone. Tell me, who are you? Mu Wanqing slammed the table. Who am I? I'm your landlord, have you forgotten? Ning Chuan said with a smile. Don't try to smooth talk with me. I tell you, even if you are my landlord, I will never forgive you if you break the law. Mu Wanqing said angrily. Really? Unfortunately, it's not up to you to decide whether I have broken the law or not. You have to provide evidence, right? If you arrest people without any evidence, you will be in big trouble. Ning Chuan said with a smile. Then tell me the truth. Hand over the evidence and try to get lenient treatment. Mu Wanqing slammed the table again. Don't say it's not what you think. Even if it is what you think, who do you think would be so stupid as to hand in evidence that is unfavorable to themselves? Ning Chuan looked at Mu Wanqing as if she were an idiot. Mu Wanqing grabbed Ning Chuan's collar with both hands, stared into his eyes, and said angrily, Let me ask you again, did you go racing today? That kind of ghost fire motorcycle. There was a woman sitting in the front. If you have evidence, you can say whatever you want. If you don't have evidence, you'd better say less. Ning Chuan still had a smile on his face. You. Mu Wanqing suddenly became furious and was about to take action. Bang! The door of the interrogation room was suddenly pushed open. A square-faced man walked in. Xiao Mu, someone is here to bail him out. Mu Wanqing said anxiously, What? No, I haven't yet. Xiao Mu. Without evidence, you can only ask him to come back to assist in the investigation. You don't have the right to interrogate him. the square-faced man said in a serious voice. I. Mu Wanqing was helpless. Finally, she glared at Ning Chuan fiercely and said unwillingly, "Take your hands out and I will uncuff you. I tell you, one day, I will catch you. Are you trying to catch me again? Are you teasing me again?" Ning Chuan raised the corners of his mouth and stretched out his hands on the table. In his hands, he was holding a pair of handcuffs that had long been undone. How did you untie it?" Mu Wanqing was suddenly shocked. Ning Chuan has already stood up and walked out the door. Outside the police station, 2 tall women were waiting here. One of them is naturally Qin Shiyun. The other one is named Tang Yuchan, who is Qin Shiyun's best friend. "I say, Shiyun, you called me out of my warm bed in the middle of the night just to get this pretty boy out." Tang Yuchan looked at Ning Chuan, who came out, and said, "Okay, the people are out, Yuchan, you can go back. Thank you for this time." Qin Shiyun saw Ning Chuan coming out and said to Tang Yuchan. Because she was the person involved and could not act as Ning Chuan's guarantor, she called her best friend Tang Yuchan. "Shiyun, you want me to leave now? That's too heartless, you're just throwing me away after using me." "No, I want to go home and sleep with you tonight." Tang Yuchan held Qin Shiyun's arm coquettishly. "I'm staying in a hotel tonight. Then I'll go back to the hotel with you and sleep." Qin Shiyun shook her head helplessly. "Then let's make a deal first, a standard twin room, 1 bed per person." "No problem. Come on, Ning Chuan, take us back to the hotel. I can't wait to sleep with your boss." Tang Yuchan smiled and waved at Ning Chuan. "Ning Chuan, this is my best friend, Tang Yuchan. I asked her to bail you out. Now please send us back to the hotel." Qin Shiyun also said to Ning Chuan, pointing to a car on the side of the road, which was obviously driven by Tang Yuchan. "Okay." Ning Chuan nodded. Qin Shiyun is not a bad person. At least she is still thinking about finding someone to rescue her. He strode towards the car on the side of the road, put his hand to his ear and dialed Ghost's number. "Ghost, check for a woman named Tang Yuchan." "Understood, boss." 15 minutes later, Ning Chuan drove Qin Shiyun and Tang Yuchan back to their hotel. They went to re-register and change rooms. Ning Chuan took out his cell phone and looked at the message sent back by Ghost. Tang Yuchan, Qin Shiyun's best friend, the eldest daughter of the Zhonghai Tang family, unmarried, with a net worth of hundreds of billions. After reading Tang Yuchan's message, Ning Chuan deleted it with a few clicks. Although Ghost can easily find out the privacy of many people, Ning Chuan generally does not allow him to do so. Unless it is mission-related. After confirming that Tang Yuchan had no ill will towards Qin Shiyun, Ning Chuan walked to the front desk, wanting to see why the two of them were taking so long to change rooms. No. I don't want a twin room. I want a presidential suite with a big bed. A very big bed that won't feel crowded even if several people sleep on it." I saw Tang Yuchan talking non-stop to the girl at the front desk. Qin Shiyun blushed and wanted to pretend that she didn't know her. Finally, the girl at the front desk booked a new presidential suite, and then looked at Ning Chuan and the 2 women upstairs with a strange look. "Have a nice evening." After checking the new room, Ning Chuan smiled and said something, then left the hotel. "Hey, Shiyun, is he really not your kept gigolo? Why isn't he jealous at all when he sees us together? Yuchan, if you keep talking nonsense, I'll kick you out." No, I want to hold you in my arms while sleeping tonight." "You bitch. Hee, the female gangster loves you." Chapter 15. The gun was soaked in water. Ning Chuan held Ning Ruyan horizontally and strode into Ning Ruyan's room. Xiao Chuan, put me down quickly." Ning Ruyan was a little nervous. "Good." Ning Chuan bent down, put Ning Ruyan on the bed, then leaned over and kissed Ning Ruyan on the forehead. "Xiao Chuan, you're already a grown-up. And you're still acting like a kid." Ning Ruyan blocked Ning Chuan with one hand and stretched out the other hand to grab Ning Chuan's ear. "I'm not joking. I just want you, Ruyan, to go to bed early, otherwise you will have dark circles under your eyes, crow's feet, and grey hair." Ning Chuan said with a smile. "Alas, my little brother Xiao Chuan, he always dislikes me for being old." Ning Ruyan sighed deliberately. "How could that be? Didn't I tell you that Sister Ruyan will always be 18 years old?" After the brother and sister laughed and played for a while, Ning Ruyan fell into a deep sleep. Ning Chuan closed the door, went to the yard, lay on the recliner again, bathing in the bright moonlight. Crash! From the bathroom in the corner of the courtyard, the sound of hot water gushing out could be heard again. Ning Chuan instinctively thought of Sophie. An interesting woman. It just so happens that it is already past midnight, and Ning Chuan has 3 more chances to see through things. He reached into his trouser pocket, grabbed the portable electric baton, and shocked himself. Ning Chuan's eyes immediately penetrated the bathroom door. A plump and well-proportioned body appeared in Ning Chuan's sight. It turns out it wasn't Sophie, it was that violent policewoman. Ning Chuan wanted to look away immediately, but suddenly frowned. He stood up and walked to the bathroom door. Knock, knock, knock. Ning Chuan knocked on the bathroom door. The sound of water in the bathroom stopped instantly, and then Mu Wanqing's vigilant voice came, "Who is it? Don't take your gun with you when you take a shower next time. Your gun is soaked in the water." Ning Chuan said. It turned out that Mu Wanqing learned her lesson during the day and kept her gun with her even when taking a bath. However, she accidentally fell into the bathtub and was seen by Ning Chuan through his X-ray vision. What? Mu Wanqing suddenly became anxious and quickly lowered her head to look for it. Sure enough, she found her pistol under the bathtub, which had been soaked in hot water for a while. The issue of guns cannot be taken lightly. When a gun is soaked in water, it will not have no effect as shown in TV dramas. If the gun is soaked in water, it is very likely to cause it to misfire at a critical moment, or even to explode. What nonsense are you talking about? My gun is not soaked in water. Mu Wanqing fished the gun out of the bathtub, drained the water and put it aside, while speaking to the outside of the door in a dissatisfied tone. Whatever you want. Ning Chuan didn't care and turned back to his room. Early the next morning, Ning Chuan was awakened by a noise in the yard. When I came out of the room, I saw that it was the policewoman Mu Wanqing. Mu Wanqing is indeed a violent policewoman, full of energy. She is wearing a wet vest on her upper body and sports shorts on her lower body. She is punching and kicking the big sandbag in the corner of the yard. For the sake of convenience, she didn't wear anything else underneath except a vest and shorts. At this time, her vest and shorts were completely soaked with sweat. Ning Chuan took a look and suddenly he didn't even need to use his perspective ability. Your training method is ineffective. Your upper body is too full and your center of gravity is too high. Ordinary boxing and kicking skills are not suitable for you, unless... Ning Chuan walked up to Mu Wanqing and gave her instructions in a serious tone. Although Ning Chuan didn't like Mu Wanqing's hot temper, she had a nice figure and was pleasing to the eye. You also know Kung Fu. Mu Wanqing glanced at Ning Chuan, raised her fist, and asked provocatively, "Would you like to have a fight?" She has been brooding over the fact that she was defeated by Ning Chuan yesterday, and wants to get back at him. Xiaochuan, Wanqing, stop fighting so early in the morning. Hurry up and wash up and come have breakfast. At this time, Ning Ruyan came out and stopped the two of them. Halfway through breakfast, Mu Wanqing received an urgent call and hurried out the door with half a steamed bun. As for Sophie, she left early in the morning dragging her small suitcase before Ning Chuan got up. Being a flight attendant is like this, there is no fixed schedule for coming and going. Ning Chuan was about to go to Chiang Mai Company after breakfast. When he passed by a large sandbag in the corner of the yard, he suddenly saw a pistol next to the sandbag. The muzzle of the gun was facing downwards, hanging with a rope. Obviously, it should be Mu Wanqing's pistol, hanging here to drain and dry. Although I don't have a lot of good feelings towards Mu Wanqing, the violent policewoman, I can't be careless with guns. Especially, Ning Ruyan lives in the yard. Ning Chuan walked forward, unloaded all the bullets from the gun with a few clicks, put them in his pocket, and then left the gun hanging there before leaving. If the gun is out of bullets, then there is nothing to be afraid of. On the other side, Mu Wanqing had just arrived at the police station and immediately discovered something was wrong. Shit! I forgot my gun. Mu Wanqing didn't dare to say anything. She quickly found an excuse and hurried back to the courtyard. Seeing that her gun was still hanging there, she breathed a sigh of relief, picked it up and left. Chiang Mai Company. Although Ning Chuan's mission is only to protect Qin Shiyun stays in Chiang Mai Company most of the time every day. If he wants to complete the protection mission easily, or if he wants to be lazy, he must first eliminate the dangers within Chiang Mai Company. In Ning Chuan's opinion, there are problems within Chiang Mai Company. And it's not small. Not to mention the previous security minister Li Chuan. In addition to Li Chuan, the deputy general manager named Li Shui also seems to be a not simple person. After picking up Qin Shiyun from the hotel and sending her to Chiang Mai Company in the morning, Ning Chuan walked around Chiang Mai Company seemingly bored. Knock knock knock. The person walking towards him was Li Shui, whom Ning Chuan had just been thinking about. She was wearing a tight little suit that made her breasts look a size larger than they actually were. She was wearing a black hip skirt, black stockings, and 10-centimeter high heels. To say it's not sexy would be a lie. However, Ning Chuan frowned as he looked at Li Shui. He always felt that Li Shui's walking posture was a little strange, as if she was holding something. Normal people shouldn't walk like this under normal circumstances. What are you looking at? If you keep looking around, I'll dig your eyes out. Li Shui, who was walking towards her, saw Ning Chuan staring at her and showed a look of contempt. I want to see what's wrong with you. Chapter 16. Pay attention to hygiene. Da. After the little thing fell out of Li Shui's skirt, it bounced twice on the ground and rolled to Ning Chuan's feet. Ning Chuan quickly took 2 steps back to prevent the little thing from touching his shoes, then looked at Li Shui jokingly. So this is what you like so much? Li Shui's beautiful face suddenly turned red like liver, and it seemed like blood was about to drip out. She took 2 quick steps forward, squatted down, grabbed the little thing, turned around and rushed to the women's bathroom. Before rushing into the bathroom, she gave Ning Chuan a vicious look and said, Mr. Ning, just wait for me. Ning Chuan said jokingly from a distance, you have to wash that thing before you use it. Pay attention to hygiene. Bang! The bathroom door was slammed shut. 10 minutes later. President's office. Li Shui rushed in aggressively. Boss Qin, I have something to tell you. Li Shui said directly to Qin Shiyun. Shui, you are the vice president of the company, just tell me what you want to say. Qin Shiyun raised her head and said. This matter is about Ning Chuan, the security manager appointed by you, Mr. Qin, yesterday. Li Shui said. Oh? What? Are you still worried about his ability? Or unreliability? Qin Shiyun said. Compared to what I want to say, ability or reliability is not important. Li Shui said. Oh? What exactly do you want to say? Qin Shiyun asked curiously. Image. Yes, the company is about to go public, and there will be a new product launch conference soon. At this time, Ning Chuan will greatly affect your image, personal image, and private life image, Mr. Qin. Li Shui said in a deep voice. Private life image. What does that mean? Qin Shiyun frowned. Boss Qin, everyone in the company is saying that Ning Chuan is your kept gigolo. Also, some people spread rumors that the company's original security manager, Li Chuan, was kicked out because you wanted to help Ning Chuan, a pretty boy, get promoted. What's more, early this morning, someone spread a rumor that you and Ning Chuan checked into a hotel room last night, and were caught by the police's anti-pornography team. You were redeemed in the middle of the night. Li Shui said repeatedly. Qin Shiyun's face turned cold. Who spread these rumors? I don't know about other things, but it seems that Ning Chuan accidentally let the secret slip when he was bragging to the people from the security department about checking into a hotel last night and was caught by the anti-pornography team. Li Shui said. He said so himself. Qin Shiyun frowned. In short, Mr. Qin, I suggest that Ning Chuan be fired immediately, whether for your personal sake or for the company's sake. Li Shui took the opportunity to say. Okay, go and do your thing first. I'll take care of Ning Chuan's affairs. Qin Shiyun waved her hand. Qin Shiyun's CEO office was a suite. After Li Shui left, Tang Yuchan quickly walked out from the inner room with a smile on her face, followed by a tall and strong man. Shiyun, look, I'm not the only one saying this, even people in your company have noticed that the security guard is your kept gigolo. Tang Yuchan said with a giggle. If you keep talking nonsense, I will really ignore you. Qin Shiyun said. Well, even if he is not the gigolo you kept, he must have some ulterior motive for getting close to you. Tang Yuchen said again. But, he has saved me several times. The night before yesterday, in that alley, he saved me from those thugs. Yesterday in the car, he saved me from Li Chuan. And those eavesdropping devices and pinhole cameras were also found by him. If he really had bad intentions towards me, why did he save me again and again? Qin Shiyun frowned and said. Tang Yuchan also tilted her head and thought about it, then waved her hand and said, never mind, ask him to come over later, I'll ask a Biao to help you deal with him, and then interrogate him, and he'll naturally know everything. A Biao is the man behind Tang Yuchan. He is her bodyguard, a retired Special Forces soldier, and has excellent skills. Miss Qin, please rest assured. I have 100 ways to make him tell the truth. A Biao said with a cold expression. Don't be too harsh. Just stop when you have enough and make him tell the truth. Qin Shiyun thought about it and nodded. 5 minutes later, Qin Shiyun called Ning Chuan in. Ning Chuan, don't you insist on being Shiyun's bodyguard? But not everyone can be Shiyun's bodyguard, so now I will let my bodyguard a Biao interview you. If you can survive 5 moves from a Biao, then you will pass the interview, otherwise, you either leave or tell the truth about your intentions in approaching Shiyun. Tang Yuchan looked at Ning Chuan with a smile. Ning Chuan glanced at Qin Shiyun and asked, do you mean the same thing? Ning Chuan, I am very grateful that you saved me the day before yesterday and yesterday. I also believe that you have no ill will towards me. I am willing to let you continue to be the security manager of Tianmai Company. But if you don't tell me the truth, it will be difficult for me to rest assured to keep you by my side as a bodyguard or driver. I don't know if you have other intentions towards me. Unless you tell me, who are you? Qin Shiyun looked into Ning Chuan's eyes and said. There's no need to tell you who I am, and don't be so self-indulgent as to think that I have other intentions by approaching you. In fact, you are just a target of my protection mission, and there is nothing special about you. Ning Chuan said expressionlessly. You? Qin Shiyun didn't expect that her sincerity would be rewarded with such harsh words from Ning Chuan, and she bit her lips immediately. A Biao, why are you still standing there? Didn't you say that there are 100 ways to make him tell the truth? Hurry up, beat him down and make him tell the truth. Tang Yuchan on the side said indignantly. Boy, you're unlucky to meet me. A Biao shouted coldly, leaped towards Ning Chuan and punched him. A Biao is a retired Special Forces soldier with superb skills and simple and sharp movements. This pounce was like a tiger descending from a mountain, and this punch even made a whistling sound. Ning Chuan seemed to be frightened. He stood there motionless, allowing a Biao to punch him. A Biao, don't be so rough. Qin Shiyun couldn't bear it and shouted. Boom! As soon as Qin Shiyun finished speaking, there was a muffled sound. Afterwards, a Biao flew backwards at a speed even faster than when he came. With a bang, he fell heavily to the ground. After struggling for a few times, he was unable to get up. Chapter 17, Nun Mi Hu. What did you say just now? If I can survive 5 moves from this Biao, I will be considered to have passed the interview. But now that this Biao was knocked out by my punch, I wonder if it counts as a pass. Ning Chuan turned around, glanced at Tang Yuchan, and said lightly. Tang Yuchan's face was full of disbelief. The corners of her mouth twitched twice, but she said nothing. A Biao was the bodyguard she carefully selected. She knew very well how powerful he was. Even 7 or 8 ordinary bodyguards could not get close to a Biao. But now, he was knocked out by Ning Chuan with 1 punch. What kind of monster is this Ning Chuan? Ning Chuan, is he okay? Do you want to call an ambulance? Qin Shiyun looked at a Biao lying on the ground with some worry. After struggling twice and failing to get up, he just lay on the ground motionless. You won't die. I held back. Ning Chuan waved his hands, looking indifferent, then looked at Tang Yuchan and said, however, I still suggest you take him to the hospital. Although I have shown mercy, who knows if he can withstand a punch from me? You. Don't be so proud. Tang Yuchan was furious. She went out and called 2 people in, and carried the bodyguard a Biao out. After Tang Yuchan left, Ning Chuan looked at Qin Shiyun coldly. I told you before that it is my mission to protect you within a month. You have no right to refuse this mission. So, I hope you can cooperate with me. Of course, if you don't cooperate, I don't mind taking other ways to complete the task. For example, restricting your freedom of movement. You don't even think about restricting my actions. Ning Chuan's words made Qin Shiyun take a step back in fear. If you cooperate, I certainly won't, but if you insist on causing trouble for me, then I'm not sure. Also, instead of targeting me, I think you should spend more time thinking about who has the opportunity to access your underwear and install a bug on it. For example, your best friend. Ning Chuan roared. What? Are you doubting Yu-chan? Qin Shiyun frowned. Although she is indeed a suspect, I have not yet included her in the suspect list. Ning Chuan said calmly, besides Tang Yu-chan, you can think about whether there are other people who have the opportunity to touch your underwear. For example, which man? When you are distracted and infatuated. Asshole. What nonsense are you talking about? No other man has ever touched my underwear except you. Qin Shiyun blurted out angrily. As soon as the words fell, Qin Shiyun immediately felt that there was some ambiguity in these words, and her cheeks suddenly turned red as she said, what I mean is that no other man has ever entered my house. After saying this, Qin Shiyun still felt that there was some ambiguity. She was about to explain again, but Ning Chuan had already looked at Qin Shiyun with a pitiful look and said, so your private life is so boring. No wonder some people call you Nun Mi Hu. Qin Shiyun was so angry that she was about to go crazy. She angrily said, who said my life is boring? Who said I am Nun Mi Hu? Qin Shiyun is the president of Chen Mai Company. She holds a high position of power, is busy with affairs of state, has no boyfriend, and is cold to people and things most of the time. So, to the lower levels of the company, she is really quite similar to Nun Mi Hu. Of course I can't tell you who said that. I'm not used to betraying others. Ning Chuan waved his hands. He heard this from a security guard and naturally couldn't say it out loud. You? Qin Shiyun was so angry that her mouth was heaving for a while. After a while, she calmed down and said, okay, Ning Chuan, I apologize to you. I shouldn't have let Yu-chan's bodyguards attack you before, and I shouldn't have doubted you. Next, I will cooperate with you and complete your task of protecting me for a month. I have to work now, please leave. Click. Ning Chuan turned around without saying a word, walked out and closed the door. This guy actually just left like that. He didn't even know what to say. Qin Shiyun frowned slightly, as if she was a little indignant, but when she thought about the new product launch conference to be held tomorrow, she shook her head forcibly, put these things out of her mind, and concentrated on preparations. Tomorrow's new product launch conference is related to whether the company can be successfully listed, and it is also related to the bet between her and her family. Its importance is self-evident. She also had a rough idea of who Ning Chuan was. There are only two possibilities for the person who asked Ning Chuan to protect her. Either her family or that person she hates. But she still needs to observe which side it is. After returning to the security department, Ning Chuan was immediately surrounded by security guards. Yesterday, Ning Chuan knocked down more than a dozen security guards in the security team, but in fact, everyone was still a little unconvinced. After all, Ning Chuan was using an electric baton, which was not considered real strength in the eyes of everyone. But just now, Ning Chuan knocked out Tang Yuechan's bodyguard A Biao with one punch, which made all the security guards convinced of Ning Chuan. Tang Yuechan is Qin Shiyun's best friend, so this is not her first time to come to Chen Mai Company. And A Biao, as Tang Yuechan's bodyguard, is also not her first time to come. In the past, every time A Biao came, he was very contemptuous of Chen Mai's security guards. He even fought with Chen Mai's security guards and easily knocked down all of them by himself. The security guards of Chen Mai Company not only do not get along with A Biao, but they can even be said to have a grudge against him. Just now, after A Biao was knocked out by Ning Chuan with a punch, it was the security guards of Chen Mai Company who carried A Biao out. Therefore, at this time, the security guards of Chen Mai Company all looked at Ning Chuan with admiration, and they no longer felt any resentment towards Ning Chuan. Security guards are all rough guys, they don't have any tricks. As long as you can really fight, they will obey you. Brother Ning, they said you were a gigolo kept by our CEO Qin. Is that true? After the security guards accepted Ning Chuan from the bottom of their hearts, they treated him as one of their own and spoke to him directly. Do I look like a gigolo? Ning Chuan said. Har har har. That's right, which pretty boy can knock out A Biao with one punch? Brother Ning, have you ever studied Kung Fu? Teach us a few moves. Yeah, Brother Ning, please teach us. Next time that A Biao comes, I also want to experience the feeling of knocking him out with one punch. The security guards surrounded Ning Chuan, laughing and talking. Zhang Yang, the deputy manager of the security department, saw this and his face turned gloomy. Ning Chuan, come to the Human Resources Department and record the new employee's information. At this time, a phone call came and Ning Chuan was called to the Human Resources Department. We were supposed to record the new employee's information yesterday, but there were too many things to do yesterday and the HR manager Emilu just found the time. Are you Ning Chuan? Please fill in all your personal information in this form. In the HR manager's office, Emilu handed Ning Chuan a form and said coldly. Ning Chuan glanced at Emilu. A white shirt, a tight skirt, a standard OL uniform. Compared with her figure, both the white shirt and the hip skirt are a little small, and both the top and the bottom look bulging. In addition, she wore a pair of black framed glasses on her pretty face, which made her look sexy and revealed a unique intellectual beauty. Beauty, you are sick. The next second, Ning Chuan took the form and said lightly. Chapter 18, Cold Uterus. What did you say? Although Emilu heard it clearly, she still couldn't believe it. How dare this new employee tease her in the HR department? And he used such an old-fashioned method. I say, beauty, you are sick, and it will soon break out. Ning Chuan said seriously. If this is your way of chatting up women, then I want to tell you that these methods of yours have no effect on me, Emilu. Emilu sneered and thought to herself, no wonder there are rumors in the company that the new security manager Ning Chuan is a man with impure motives and dishonest means. Now it seems that it is true. However, Emilu is known as one of the 3 most beautiful iceberg girls in Chiang Mai company. Do you think you can get close to her with just this little trick? Seeing that Emilu didn't believe him, Ning Chuan didn't care. He leaned over to get a pen and quickly wrote down his name and phone number on the form. Then he said, you have severe uterine cold. Every time it occurs, your lower abdomen will be as cold as ice. The coldness will spread from your lower abdomen to all parts of your body and cause numbness in your limbs. What? How do you know? Emilu's pretty face suddenly changed color. She did have severe uterine cold, and the symptoms Ning Chuan just described were all correct. Every time an attack occurs, not only does my whole body feel as cold as an ice sculpture, but my hands and feet are also unable to move. To some extent, her icy personality is largely due to this uterine coldness. You investigated me. Emilu reacted quickly and looked at Ning Chuan with an unfriendly look. She had never told anyone about her uterine coldness, but she could not hide the pain and symptoms every time it occurred. I don't have time to investigate you. Ning Chuan handed the filled-in form to Emilu. Emilu reached out to take it, but Ning Chuan grabbed her wrist the moment she reached out to take the form. What are you doing? Let go. Emilu immediately cried out and struggled. Don't move. I'm taking your pulse. Ning Chuan let out a low cry and placed his index and middle fingers on Emilu's pulse. You? Emilu was stunned for a moment and subconsciously remained motionless. Half a minute later, Ning Chuan released his hand and said, your illness will break out in 2 minutes. What? Although Emilu didn't believe Ning Chuan, she immediately opened the drawer when she heard what he said. The drawer is full of hot packs. Emilu grabbed a few hot packs and was about to get up and go to the bathroom. The heat pack is useless. The heat is too weak and it is outside the body, but your uterus is cold from the inside out. I suggest you stay seated in the chair and don't move. Otherwise, you will get sick in the bathroom and be unable to move. That will be embarrassing. Ning Chuan said lightly. Emilu frowned and glanced at Ning Chuan, then said coldly, although I don't know how you know my condition, but I despise people like you who sneer at others' illnesses. After saying that, Emilu walked past Ning Chuan in her high heels. But, just as the two of them passed each other, Emilu's body suddenly stiffened. A sharp pain suddenly came from the lower abdomen. The severe pain was accompanied by a bone-chilling chill, as if her entire lower abdomen had suddenly turned into a piece of 10,000-year-old ice. Tilder. Emilu suddenly groaned, and the coldness quickly spread from her lower abdomen to her limbs. Her hands and feet quickly became cold, causing her body to shake and she could hardly stand. Just when Emilu was about to fall to the ground, a pair of big hands reached out and supported Emilu's shoulders. Help me, sit down, help me, put on the warm pack. Emilu was shivering from the coldness in her body and whispered tremblingly. You can't sit down. Ning Chuan shook his head, bent down, and picked up Emilu with both hands. He walked to the desk, pushed the things on the desk away, and then laid Emilu flat on the desk. What are you going to do? Emilu said in fear, her lips trembling from the cold. At this time, outside the HR manager's office, other HR employees heard the noise inside and pushed the door open. At first glance, Ning Chuan actually forcibly picked up Emilu and put her on the desk. What are you doing? You are actually violent towards manager Emilu in broad daylight. Asshole. Hooligan. Let go of Sister Milu. Chapter 19, just treat the disease, don't talk about feelings. It's okay. I'm leaving. Ning Chuan waved his hand and was about to walk out. Hey, Ning Chuan, do you really know medicine? Emilu quickly grabbed him. It's not that Emilu suspects Ning Chuan, but the reason why Ning Chuan's method of treating the disease just now is really too strange. Just rub your hands a few times and then press them on your lower abdomen, and you will cure the severe uterine coldness that has tormented you for more than 10 years. What happened just now is not just medical skills, it's not something that ordinary doctors can do. Ning Chuan knew what Emilu was wondering about, and thought about it and said. What he just used to treat Emilu was not only his medical skills, but also his martial arts. If he hadn't used both hands to transfer his internal energy into Emilu's body, how could he have melted the coldness in Emilu's body so easily? By the way, I can only treat the symptoms of your illness for now, but not the root cause. Ning Chuan didn't explain martial arts to Emilu in detail, he just said one more sentence. How can I cure my disease? As long as you can cure the root of my disease, I can promise you anything. Emilu looked at Ning Chuan as if she saw hope. This uterine cold problem has tormented her for more than 10 years. Actually, if you really want to cure your disease, it's easier said than done. The root of your illness is still your constitution. You are born with a yin constitution, and with some acquired influences, you have this severe uterine cold problem. If you want to be cured, you just need to find a boyfriend with a congenital masculine constitution. Then, you will be cured without any treatment. Ning Chuan said. Congenital yin body constitution? Congenital yang body constitution? Find a boyfriend. Why can I get cured without treatment if I find a boyfriend with a congenital yang body constitution? Milu asked stupidly. As the saying goes, yin alone cannot last long. If you find a boyfriend with a yang constitution, the yin and yang will be balanced and you will naturally recover. I see, you are already in your 20s, you don't know this, do you? Ning Chuan said with a hint of contempt. Of course I understand, but where can I find a boyfriend with a natural masculine body type? Emilu blushed. I don't know about others, but I am born with a yang constitution. If you need it, you can ask me to balance your yin and yang. But let me make it clear first, I only treat illnesses, not relationships. Ning Chuan said with a smirk. You pervert. Hooligan. Get out. Emilu's face suddenly changed and she said angrily. How could Ning Chuan want to cure her illness? He clearly wanted to take advantage of her body for free. Are you kidding? Her body has never been touched by a man and is still pure and innocent. Wrong. Ning Chuan just touched my lower abdomen. This bastard. You took advantage of me, but you still want to act cute. You want to take even greater advantage. Dream. Emilu suddenly became even angrier. Women, they change their minds faster than turning the pages of a book. Ning Chuan shook his head indifferently, turned around and walked out. The female employees of the HR department at the door all moved to both sides to make way for him. You should think it over carefully. Come to me to mediate and it will be solved once and for all. Otherwise, your illness will relapse next time. As soon as he finished speaking, Ning Chuan disappeared outside the door. Sister Milu, are you okay? The female employees in the Human Resources Department all looked at Emilu, whose face was red and pale. It's okay. I want to see what kind of person Ning Chuan is. Emilu gritted her teeth and picked up the employee information form filled out by Ning Chuan, wanting to see Ning Chuan's personal information. This sight made her dumbfounded. This form contains a lot of content such as name, gender, age, place of origin, education, work experience, contact information, etc. But Ning Chuan only filled in 2 items. Name, Ning Chuan. Contact information, 139xxxxxxxx. The rest of the content is all blank. Ning Chuan had just returned to the security department, and news of his deeds in the human resources department had already been reported back. After all, communication on WeChat is extremely convenient now, and all kinds of gossip spread at the speed of light. Fuck. Boss, did you really just pick up the HR manager Emilu and press her down on the desk? And lifted up her white shirt. Awesome. That's awesome. Idol. Brother Ning, you will be my idol from now on. Brother Ning, you really know how to heal illnesses? Can you check my illness, too? The security guards surrounded Ning Chuan as if they were surrounding a hero returning from triumph. The security department has always been the lowest ranking department in Chiang Mai company. The security guards were often given the cold shoulder in the company. Therefore, Ning Chuan's act of hugging the HR manager Emilu and pressing her down on the desk instantly became a heroic legend of the security department. After inspecting the company and casually teaching the security guards some tips on identifying suspicious people, Ning Chuan moved a boss chair and came to the front desk. The front desk is the company's portal, the most critical position for security work and the best position for laziness. Hey, Brother Ning, I heard that you went to the Human Resources Department to record information today, and you just picked up the icy beauty sister Emilu and pressed her on the desk after a disagreement. Brother Ning, you are so brave, aren't you? So manly. Come on, let me introduce myself. My name is Zhang Ling. The girl at the front desk, Zhang Ling, also looked at Ning Chuan with admiration. Zhang Ling is young and full of rebellious spirit. After hearing the gossip about Ning Chuan, she immediately became very familiar with him. Ning Chuan was speechless. He was clearly treating Emilu, so how could the matter be passed around and then turned into a fight? And he even pressed on her? He didn't press on her. When she got off work in the afternoon, Qin Shiyun wanted Ning Chuan to take her back to their hotel, but Tang Yuchen came and strongly invited Qin Shiyun to stay in her villa. Hey, aren't you Shiyun's driver and bodyguard? Come along, and check if there's anything dangerous in my villa. To Ning Chuan's surprise, Tang Yuchen actually took the initiative to invite Ning Chuan. Tang Yuchan's home is in Zhonghai, and she lives alone in the villa in Jiangcheng. After the three of them arrived, Ning Chuan began to inspect the villa. Tang Yuchen took the opportunity to secretly pull Qin Shiyun to the study on the second floor. In the study, there were several monitors showing a dozen small square images, which were the surveillance cameras spread throughout the villa. From one of the cameras, you can see Ning Chuan checking each room. And above one of the half-open doors, there was a bucket of colorful paint. Tang Yuchen said to Qin Shiyun proudly. He, Shiyun, look, as soon as Ning Chuan walks into this room, he will fall into my trap and be poured with this bucket of paint. Then, he will rush to the bathroom next door to take a shower. He never thought that this bucket of paint of mine has a special formula. Once it gets on you, it can't be washed off. If you want to wash it off, you have to rub off a layer of skin from your body. What he couldn't have imagined was that I had also installed a camera in the bathroom, which was just the right time to capture him rubbing off a layer of skin. When the time comes, I'll post a video of him covered in paint, rubbing off a layer of skin, and post it online. Do you think it can become a trending search or something? Now, let's wait and see the show. He. Chapter 20, Shooting Yourself in the Foot. This. Yu-chan, isn't this too much? Qin Shiyun shuddered at Tang Yuechan's words and couldn't help but stretch out her hand and rub her face and neck twice, as if she had been splashed with this indelible paint. Shiyun, Ning Chuan is too arrogant. Don't you want to teach him a lesson? Judging from his attitude towards you, how can he be here to protect you? He clearly seems to be here to monitor you. Besides, I can't kill him, so what are you afraid of? At most, his face and body will be stained with all kinds of colors, like a clown. I'm really looking forward to it. Tang Yuchan covered her mouth and laughed secretly, looking impatient, her eyes smiling into crescents, staring at the surveillance footage on the monitor. This. Qin Shiyun was still a little hesitant. Oh, Shiyun, you're not really having an affair with this little security guard, are you reluctant to let me tease him? Tang Yuchen said with a deliberate smile. Are you kidding? To me, he is just a security guard, a tool. Qin Shiyun remembered that Ning Chuan had said before that she was just a mission target to be protected, and she blurted out. Look! This guy is about to fall into my trap. Tang Yuchen suddenly said excitedly. In the surveillance footage, Ning Chuan walked towards the room with the mechanism without noticing anything. Above the half-open door, there was a bucket full of paint. As long as Ning Chuan pushed the door, the bucket of paint would splash all over Ning Chuan's head. In the surveillance video, Ning Chuan walked to the front of the room, pushed the door and walked in. But the bucket full of paint on the door did not fall down. Afterwards, Ning Chuan checked the room for a while and walked out of the room again. How could this happen? I clearly set up the mechanism, why is it not working? How come the paint bucket I put up with so much difficulty doesn't fall down? This is weird. In the study, Tang Yuchan frowned, looking puzzled. After Ning Chuan went to check the room on the other floor, Tang Yuchan quickly ran out of the study, walked to the door of that room, pushed it open and walked in. She wanted to go and see what went wrong with her mechanism. However, at the moment Tang Yuchan pushed the door, a big bucket of colorful paint was poured down on my head from the door. Crash! A bucket full of paint, mixed with more than a dozen colors of red, orange, yellow, green, blue, and purple, was poured all over Tang Yuchan's head, face, neck, and even flowed down her chest into her clothes. Tang Yuchan stood there in a daze for a full 10 seconds. Then, there was a scream that almost blew the roof off. AA. Amid the screams, Tang Yuchan closed her eyes tightly, not daring to open them at all, for fear that paint would get into her eyes. She covered her head and ran towards the bathroom next door. Crash! I finally found the bathroom faucet switch and hot water gushed out from the shower. Tang Yuchan scrubbed the paint off her head, face, and neck desperately. Her clothes were also covered in paint, which she took off quickly without thinking twice. Although she didn't dare open her eyes, she could tell from the feel of her hands that she must be covered in colorful paint from head to toe. Wao Shiyun, save me! Save me quickly! Tang Yuchan closed her eyes and screamed. While she was yelling, a man came in, turned off the hot water, handed her a towel, and then retreated to the door. Tang Yuchan took the towel with both hands and wiped it hard on her face. Shiyun, what should I do? My face is covered in paint, sob. Tang Yuchan carefully opened her eyes, looked at herself in the mirror, and suddenly felt like crying but had no tears. Now her hair, face, neck and mouth are all dyed in different colors. To say that it is colorful is an understatement, it should be at least 7 or 8 colors, 9 or 10 colors. A female version of a circus clown. Woo woo Shiyun, what should I do? I can't rub it off. Woo woo. Tang Yuchan rubbed her face in the mirror and turned to look at the door. This sight made her scream again at 120 decibels. Aha! Ning Chuan! Why is it you? Turn away quickly. Don't look. Don't look. While screaming, Tang Yuchan grabbed the towel and covered her body. Don't be nervous, you are all covered in paint. Although you are not wearing any clothes, it is like wearing a paint coat. You can't see anything. Don't worry. Ning Chuan said in a teasing tone. You bastard. This is all your fault. It's all your fault. You did it on purpose. I won't let you off. How could Tang Yuchan not understand at this point that her paint mechanism must have been discovered by Ning Chuan, and as a result, Ning Chuan took advantage of the situation and got her covered in paint on the head, face and body. Can't you forgive me? You'd better clean the paint off yourself first. Ning Chuan smiled, turned around and left, continuing to check the safety of the villa. At this time, Qin Shiyan finally heard the noise and ran down from the study on the second floor. Yuchan, how could this happen? Woo woo, Shiyun, come in and help me rub it. Woo woo. Qin Shiyun hurried into the bathroom, closed the door, and helped Tang Yuchan rub the paint. However, this paint was carefully prepared by Tang Yuchan, and it was the kind that could not be rubbed off once it got on them. The more they rubbed it, the more the colors mixed. Tang Yuchan turned into a failed impressionist work of art. Oh no! While rubbing it hard and doing useless work, Tang Yuchan suddenly exclaimed. Yuchan, what's wrong? Qin Shiyun said. Tang Yuchan moved her neck stiffly and looked towards the corner of the bathroom ceiling. There is the camera she installed herself. The red light above is flashing slightly, which means it is working. Aha! Tang Yuchan screamed again, wrapped herself in a bath towel, opened the bathroom door and rushed to the study on the second floor. When I rushed to the study door, Ning Chuan was just walking out of the study. Ning Chuan! You! Have you tampered with my monitoring software? Tang Yuchen said in a trembling voice. I didn't move. Ning Chuan shook his head. Call. Tang Yuchen heaved a sigh of relief. I just copied a short surveillance video of someone rubbing paint in the bathroom. It's quite funny. I saved the video to the network disk. If there is interest someday, I will post it on those online video platforms to see if it can become a hot search or something. Ning Chuan said calmly again. What? You dare? Tang Yuchen was suddenly filled with shame and anger. I don't dare? Aren't these all your plans? Since you dare to do this to me, why shouldn't I dare to do this to you? Ning Chuan asked back. I. Chapter 21 Rub for Better Health. Tang Yuchen looked so pitiful at this moment that tears were about to fall from her eyes. With paint all over her head and face, she looked like a failed work of art covered in messy colors. Ning Chuan couldn't help but laugh. You're still laughing. You bastard. Tang Yuchen stamped her feet in anger, and the paint on the bear's mouth trembled and fluctuated. Forget it, I won't tease you anymore. I'm not in the habit of threatening women with private videos. Ning Chuan shook his head. What? So you didn't copy the surveillance video? Nor did you upload it to the network disk? Tang Yuchen's eyes suddenly lit up. I just took a casual look at it. It's not enough for me to copy it and keep it as a treasure. Ning Chuan said. You bastard. How dare you insult me? You said I have a bad figure. Tang Yuchen suddenly became even angrier. It's not enough for him to copy it and keep it as a treasure? Isn't he saying that he has a bad figure? If I were you, I wouldn't worry about your body shape. I would get rid of the paint as soon as possible. If you don't, I suspect the paint will stick to your skin forever. Then, it will be really ugly. Ning Chuan said with a smile. Just wait for me. Shiyun, come and help me. Woo. Tang Yuchen, crying, pulled Qin Shiyun into the bathroom again, and the two began to try every possible way to get rid of the paint. However, the two of them tried for a long time and were sweating profusely, but they couldn't get it off at all. The paint seemed to be growing on Tang Yuchen's skin. She now looks like a female version of the Joker and a mixed version of the Avatar. After Ning Chuan checked the safety issues of the entire villa, he sat leisurely in the living room and watched TV. Ning Chuan, think of a solution quickly. Is there any way to get the paint off Yuchen? Even if she is wrong, you have teased her for so long, isn't that enough? Do you really want Yuchen to be disfigured? Qin Shiyun rushed over in annoyance, speaking with a mixture of 3 parts of command, 3 parts of questioning, and 3 parts of pleading. It's actually very simple to get rid of the paint, but we have to let her know that there is a limit to playing tricks on people. President Qin, think about it the other way around. If I hadn't seen through her plan and I was the one splashed with paint, would you have been so anxious to question your bestie like you are now? Ning Chuan said slowly. I. Qin Shiyun was speechless, her face changed several times, and finally she whispered, I'm sorry, Ning Chuan, I was wrong, I should have stopped Yuchen. Okay, for your sake, I can help her get rid of the paint. Ning Chuan said. After all, Qin Shiyun was the person he wanted to protect, and her attitude of admitting her mistakes was quite sincere. 2 minutes later, Ning Chuan came to the bathroom with several large barrels of oil in his hands. What are you going to do? Tang Yuchen looked at the barrels of oil that Ning Chuan brought and said with some fear. She is now afraid of ropes for 10 years after being bitten by a snake once. Go lie in the bathtub. Ning Chuan said calmly. Why should I listen to you? Tang Yuchen said angrily. Yuchen, just listen to Ning Chuan. He can help you get the paint off your body. Qin Shiyun said hurriedly. Tang Yuchen then reluctantly entered the bathtub. Take off your clothes. Ning Chuan said again. What are you going to do? Tang Yuchen asked angrily. Didn't I tell you before that you were wearing a painted coat and I couldn't see anything? Besides, you were covered in all kinds of colors, like a ghost. Do you think I wanted to see you? Ning Chuan curled his lips. Tang Yuchen was so angry that she couldn't speak, but in order to get the paint off her body, she had to take off her clothes and lie in the bathtub. Of course, during the whole process, Ning Chuan was asked to turn his head away and not allowed to look. Next, pour these barrels of oil into the bathtub, soak all the paint-stained parts of her body, wait for the paint to dissolve in the oil, and then rub. Ning Chuan handed a few barrels of oil to Qin Shiyun and told her the method, then he was pushed out by Qin Shiyun and locked outside the bathroom door. In the bathroom, Qin Shiyun followed Ning Chuan's instructions, filled the bathtub with oil, and let Tang Yuchan soak in it. After the paint on her body slowly dissolved in the oil, she rubbed her whole body vigorously. It took a full hour to clean all the paint off Tang Yuchan's body. But the two women were so tired that they were covered in sweat, so they simply took a shower in the bathroom before coming out. Well, it seems that rubbing is indeed healthier. Look, your skin is now white and rosy, and it looks much better than before. In the living room, Ning Chuan looked up and down at Tang Yuchan's exposed skin and teased. At this moment, Tang Yuchan's face, neck, hands, all the skin on her body was almost as white and tender as boiled eggs, with a hint of pink. If she rubbed it any further, it would probably bleed. Ning Chuan, just wait for me. Tang Yuchan was extremely furious and wanted to rush forward, but she knew that even if she did, she would not be a match for Ning Chuan. After all, even a Biao was knocked out by him with one punch. Ning Chuan, don't be so complacent, I will find someone to deal with you. Tang Yuchan gritted her teeth, took out her phone and made a call. Dad, I agree to your conditions, please let Jasmine come to my place. After finishing the call, Tang Yuchan crossed her arms over her chest and looked at Ning Chuan angrily, with a smug smile on her face. Ning Chuan, if you have the guts, don't leave. Someone will come to take care of you soon. She was in trouble for the paint incident, but she will definitely take revenge. Revenge immediately. Oh? You can call for help. Then I'll wait. Ning Chuan smiled indifferently. Half an hour later, there was a knock on the villa door. Tang Yuchan ran to open the door. Outside the door was a girl wearing a black tights, with her ponytail tied high and a cold face. The girl is probably less than 20 years old, with a fit body. The black tights outline her fat-free figure, which is full of explosive power, like a female leopard. She is Jasmine, the personal female bodyguard sent by her father after Tang Yuchan compromised with her father. Miss, Jasmine is under the order of the head of the family to protect you from now on. The woman said and walked into the villa. Chapter 22, Internal Strength. Jasmine. Although Jasmine is a woman and lighter in weight, her move is to take advantage of the opponent's imbalance in gravity. Not to mention a man of average build like Ning Chuan, she has even knocked down a strong man who is nearly 2 meters tall. Fall down. Jasmine let out a delicate cry and hung upside down behind Ning Chuan, locking her legs around Ning Chuan's neck and attacking Ning Chuan's lower body with both hands. But Ning Chuan is not an ordinary person. He stands there, as still as a pine tree. Jasmine tried several times but couldn't move Ning Chuan at all. Ning Chuan raised his hands in front of his chest, grabbed Jasmine's ankles, stretched his body, and spread his hands to both sides. Jasmine could no longer be held and her legs were pulled apart. Then, Ning Chuan moved his hands, grabbed Jasmine's feet, and threw her forward. Boom! Jasmine suddenly flew out like a kite with a broken string and hit the wall. But Jasmine was agile and adjusted her body in mid-air like a cat. Before hitting the wall, she changed her posture abruptly and landed on the wall with both hands and feet at the same time. The next second, with the help of the recoil force of the collision, Jasmine exerted force on the wall with both hands and feet at the same time, and her whole body was like a spring compressed to the limit, and she bounced towards Ning Chuan again. At the same time, she punched out like an arrow, hitting Ning Chuan's chest. Huh! Ning Chuan exclaimed again, and when Jasmine rushed in front of him, he met her with a light punch. The internal strength has been gathered in the fist. Bang! With a muffled sound, Ning Chuan's body shook. Jasmine flew backwards 3 or 4 meters, but landed steadily on her feet. Although her face quickly turned blood red, her body sank slightly, and she was ready to continue fighting, but her face had become solemn. Miss, please leave here first. I am no match for him. Jasmine said solemnly without even turning her head. What? Jasmine, even you can't beat him. Tang Yuchan exclaimed. She could understand that a Biao couldn't beat Ning Chuan before. After all, a Biao was just an ordinary bodyguard. But Jasmine is one of the most skilled bodyguards in the family, and it is said that she also knows real martial arts. Even she can't beat Ning Chuan. Okay, stop fighting, Jasmine. Let me introduce you. This is my company's security manager, and also my bodyguard and driver, Ning Chuan. Ning Chuan, this is Yuechan's special bodyguard, her name is Jasmine. You two can be considered as strangers who don't know each other without fighting, so stop it. Jasmine, Ning Chuan has no ill will towards your young lady. At this time, Qin Shiyun hurriedly stepped forward to introduce and smooth things over. Jasmine had been with Yuchan before, so of course she knew her. Upon hearing this, Jasmine narrowed her eyes and looked at Ning Chuan. As expected, she did not sense any murderous intent from Ning Chuan. Jasmine, forget it, we good women don't fight with stinky men. Tang Yuchan had no choice but to accept the fact that Jasmine could not beat Ning Chuan, and said helplessly. Jasmine then nodded and relaxed a little. Not bad, little girl. Your name is Jasmine, right? You are quite skilled and have even developed a bit of internal strength. This is rare at your age. Ning Chuan smiled with satisfaction. Tang Yuchan's new female bodyguard, Jasmine, is a woman, but she is much more powerful than the previous A Biao. Qin Shiyun now lives with Tang Yuchan. With this powerful female bodyguard, Jasmine, around, he can worry less. At least, it shouldn't be like last night, when I was about to get back together with Sophie but was interrupted by a phone call. HMPH, stop talking about some nonsense about internal and external strength. Now you have experienced how powerful Jasmine is, right? Although she can't do anything to you, you can't do anything to her either. The two of you are at most a draw. So, Shiyun will stay with me at night, so we don't need your protection. Jasmine will protect us. You can leave now. Tang Yuchen gets angry when she sees Ning Chuan now, but she can't do anything about him. She just wants to get Ning Chuan away as soon as possible so that she won't be bothered by him. Okay, this is my number. If you encounter any trouble that you can't handle, call me on this number. Ning Chuan picked up a piece of paper, wrote a phone number, and put it in Jasmine's hand. Then he turned around and walked out of the villa. Behind him, Qin Shiyun looked at his back, appearing calm on the surface, but with some inexplicable strange thoughts in her mind. Didn't this guy keep saying that he would protect me for a month? Shouldn't that kind of protection be provided 24 hours a day? Besides, Yuchen's villa is so big, there are still many empty rooms. This guy, it turns out, was only approaching me because of the mission. In fact, he probably doesn't have any good feelings towards me at all, right? Qin Shiyun thought so and snorted coldly in the direction where Ning Chuan disappeared. Humph, I don't want that. Ning Chuan, who had already walked away, suddenly sneezed, frowned and muttered to himself, which bastard is saying bad things about me behind my back? Ning Chuan returned to the courtyard and just as he entered the gate, a dark shadow pounced on him from the side. It was the violent policewoman Mu Wanqing. Mu Wanqing rushed to Ning Chuan, grabbed his collar, pushed him to the wall, and asked viciously, "Let me ask you, this morning, next to the big sandbag, did you touch my gun?" It turned out that Mu Wanqing came back in the morning and got the gun. When she checked it before a mission, she found that there was no bullet in the gun. She was so scared that her face turned pale. It goes without saying what guns and bullets mean to her identity. The whereabouts of every bullet will be recorded in detail. If you lose it, you will be punished at the very least, or even expelled. Fortunately, today's mission did not require shooting, otherwise she would have been exposed. After getting off work in the afternoon, Mu Wanqing recalled bitterly that in the morning she was practicing boxing in the corner of the yard, and the only one who approached her was Ning Chuan. Tell the truth. Did you touch my gun? Mu Wanqing grabbed Ning Chuan's collar and shouted sternly. No matter whether I did anything or not, I don't want to tell you just because of your attitude. Ning Chuan said calmly. So you did move it? Humph, it doesn't matter if you don't tell me, I'll search it myself if you don't tell me. Mu Wanqing sneered, pushed Ning Chuan against the wall with one hand, and reached for Ning Chuan's clothes with the other hand, intending to search Ning Chuan's body. Want to search me? That's not that easy. Ning Chuan smiled playfully and moved his body. Mu Wanqing felt her hands loosen and her eyes blurred. When she came to her senses, she was already pressed against the wall by Ning Chuan. Asshole! Let me go! Mu Wanqing said angrily and kicked Ning Chuan in the crotch. Woman, you are too arrogant, aren't you? Ning Chuan clamped Mu Wanqing's feet tightly with his legs and said coldly. Mu Wanqing's kick was quite powerful. If it were any other man, he would probably be kicked to the point of being childless. I advise you to tell the truth immediately and let me search you, otherwise I will make you lie on the ground and beg for mercy. Mu Wanqing's feet were trapped and she couldn't move, and she became even angrier. Really? Since you like body searches so much, I'll let you experience what it feels like to be searched. Ning Chuan said coldly, and with his left hand he turned Mu Wanqing's body over and pressed her facing the wall. Chapter 23. Beating is love, scolding is love. In order to teach Mu Wanqing a profound lesson, Ning Chuan searched very carefully, leaving no corner untouched. Let me go, asshole. Mu Wanqing struggled hard. But since Ning Chuan had decided to teach Mu Wanqing a lesson, it was impossible for her to break free with this level of resistance. Instead, she was twisting her body. Well. Ning Chuan withdrew his hand, loosened his grip on Mu Wanqing, and looked at her with strange eyes and said, I didn't expect you to be so unrestrained. You don't usually wear that. You bastard. You son of a bitch. I changed it after I came back, okay. Mu Wanqing was so ashamed and angry that she wanted to cry, and she screamed with gritted teeth. As for women, after a day outside, the first thing they do when they get home is to take off certain small clothes that are hot, stuffy and restrictive to the body. Mu Wanqing was naturally no exception. But this damn Ning Chuan actually said that he doesn't wear it normally. He is taking advantage of the situation. Bastard. Mu Wanqing was furious and wanted to fight Ning Chuan to the death again. Sichuan. Wanqing. At this time, Ning Ruyan, who was wearing a long skirt, walked out of the courtyard. Seeing the two fighting again, she said unhappily, What's going on with you guys? Is it true that beating is love and scolding is affection? You couldn't wait to fall in love with me as soon as you came back. Ning Ruyan walked up to the two of them and said with a smile, Fall in love with him? Sister Ruyan, are you kidding me? Even if I stay single for my whole life, I will never fall in love with him. Mu Wanqing blurted out. Sister Ruyan, I would never fall in love with her even if I fell in love with an old sow. Ning Chuan's face was calm. You said I'm an old sow. You bastard. Mu Wanqing clenched her fists again. If your comprehension ability is normal, you will understand what I mean. You are not as good as an old sow, Ning Chuan said lightly. You. All right. Shut up. Eat. Ning Ruyan held two people, one in each hand, and walked inside. While eating, Mu Wanqing glared at Ning Chuan while chewing the food, and almost broke the bowl with one bite. Ning Ruyan looked at the two of them and also felt a little strange. Although Mu Wanqing had a hot temper before, it was never to this extent. Why did Mu Wanqing suddenly become so hot-tempered in front of Ning Chuan? She would explode at the slightest provocation. At night, Ning Chuan was lying in the yard to enjoy the cool air, and Mu Wanqing walked up to Ning Chuan again. What do you want in exchange for returning the bullet to me? Mu Wanqing said through gritting her teeth. I can give you one first. But the rest cannot be given to you so easily. It is mainly to teach you a profound lesson so that you will never make a similar mistake again. Ning Chuan took out a bullet from his trouser pocket and gave it to Mu Wanqing. No, you must give me all the rest right away. Mu Wanqing took the bullet, rushed forward immediately, and reached into Ning Chuan's trouser pocket. Hey, don't touch anything. If you touch the wrong place, be careful or you won't be able to bear the consequences. Ning Chuan quickly blocked him. You bastard. You hooligan. Hand over all your bullets now. Mu Wanqing was only thinking about getting the bullet back and turned a deaf ear to Ning Chuan's words. She simply pressed Ning Chuan down on the recliner, restraining him from touching the bullet. Squeak. At this moment, the door of the courtyard was pushed open. Sophie walked in wearing a stewardess uniform, dragging a small suitcase. At this time, Ning Chuan was lying on the recliner. Mu Wanqing was sitting on Ning Chuan, trying to grab the bullets from Ning Chuan's pocket with both hands, and she was still saying, hand over all the bullets. This situation stunned Sophie. She instinctively looked at Ning Chuan. Ning Chuan also looked at Sophie. Their eyes met, and they both thought of what happened in the bathroom last night. What a romantic man. Luckily we interrupted him in time last night. Sophie's face changed, she turned her head away and walked quickly towards her room. Well. Ning Chuan knew from Sophie's expression that she seemed to have misunderstood something. But Ning Chuan didn't intend to explain anything to Sophie. Tang. Mu Wanqing also reacted. She jumped up, her face flushed, and waited for Sophie to return to the room before she gritted her teeth and said to Ning Chuan, tell me, what conditions do you want to return all the bullets to me at once? Ning Chuan thought for a moment and said, just admit your mistakes and apologize. You want me to admit my mistake and apologize to you? No way. Mu Wanqing sneered. You don't have to apologize, just give me a foot massage. Pooh. Then defeat me. If you defeat me, I will pay you back. This won't work, and that won't work either. What do you want? Well, let's put it this way. You give me a kiss, and I'll give you one back. That shouldn't be that difficult, right? Ning Chuan said impatiently. I'd rather kiss a pig than you. Mu Wanqing turned around angrily and went back to her room. The next morning, Sophie did not leave the room, but Mu Wanqing left early in the morning. Ning Chuan was about to go to Chiang Mai Company after breakfast but was stopped by Ning Ruyan. Xiaochuan, you've been back for 2 days. I found a university for you. Go and study there. Although I don't know what you have been doing these years, you definitely haven't been studying hard. You are only in your early 20s now, which is the right age for schooling. You should read more books. I have already contacted Jiangnan University. You can go and report in the morning. Today is the day for freshmen to enroll. You can go to school with the freshmen. Ning Ruyan said this and took out an admission letter. It said, Student Ning Chuan, you have been admitted to the Department of Economics and Management of our school. Wow, Sister Ruyan, you are so amazing. You can easily arrange for me to go to college. Ning Chuan took the admission letter and raised his eyebrows slightly. It's nothing. I just happened to know your principal, so I asked her for a favor. Now, go to school and don't hang around all day. Also, there's 50,000 yuan in this card. Use it to pay tuition, and use the rest as living expenses and pocket money. I'll deposit money into it every month from now on. Ning Ruyan smiled and took out a bank card and handed it to Ning Chuan. She naturally didn't know Ning Chuan's identity or what happened to him at Chiang Mai Company. Sister Ruyan, 50,000 a month, does this count as supporting me? Ning Chuan took the bank card and said with a smile. You are such a big shot. You should study hard. I am helping you with the things I have on hand. When you graduate from college, I will hand them all over to you. Sister Ruyan will rely on you for the rest of her life. Of course, I can't give you these before you graduate from college. That would hurt you. Ning Ruyan said again. Ning Chuan could tell from Ning Ruyan's words that Ning Ruyan seemed to be doing okay financially, which made him feel more at ease. Chapter 24. You spit into my mouth. Shortly after leaving the courtyard, Ning Chuan received a call from Qin Shiyun, saying that she had already driven to the company by herself and asked Ning Chuan not to go to Tang Yuechan's villa to pick her up. Ning Chuan hung up the phone and checked the surveillance chip he had placed in Qin Shiyun's bag on his mobile phone. He found that the location had reached Chiang Mai Company, so he felt relieved and went to Jiangnan University. When he arrived at the school, Ning Chuan took his admission letter and went to the new student registration office to collect the items distributed by the school, and then found the assigned student dormitory. A standard 4-person room with 4 people's names and photos posted on the door for easy finding. However, the dormitory was empty, with only 3 made beds and 1 empty bed. Ning Chuan carefully looked at the photos of his 3 roommates on the door, then put his things on his bed and walked out of the dormitory. He didn't plan to live on campus anyway, so he didn't need to make his bed. Ning Chuan walked around the campus for a while and felt a little emotional. At that time, he was only 13 years old when he was taken away by the old master in the mountains. At that time, he was only in the 1st grade of junior high school. At that time, for him, who was just in the 1st grade of junior high school, university was a sacred place and a place that he longed for infinitely. But he had been gone for 8 years. Now that he was back and could go to university under the arrangement of Sister Ruyan, he could be considered to have fulfilled his childhood wish. Jiangnan University is ranked around 20th in the country and is considered the best university in Jiangcheng. Most of the students here have excellent academic performance or come from well-off families. Of course, there are also some students from poor families who have become successful. But their number is not large. Soon, Ning Chuan walked around the school and got familiar with the environment. This was his instinctive habit whenever he arrived in a strange place. At this time, by the school's artificial lake, a girl in a white shirt and long skirt was reading a thick foreign book. The girl in white is named Ji Bing. She is one of the 4 campus beauties of Jiangnan University. As her name suggests, she is an icy beauty. At this moment, Yi Bing's jade hands were turning the pages of the book, the breeze was blowing her hair, her pretty face was cold but full of youthfulness, and the rippling water of the lake beside her. It made people feel that Yibing was like a fairy from heaven. Huh? It's him? How is that possible? They should look similar, right? Yibing accidentally raised her head and saw Ning Chuan's figure not far away. Her beautiful eyes suddenly sparkled. Then, Yibing held the thick foreign book in his hand, lowered his head, and walked towards Ning Chuan. At the moment when the two were about to pass each other, Yibing pretended to be reading a book and not paying attention, and bumped into Ning Chuan, and at the same time her little feet stepped on Ning Chuan's shoes. Ouch! Yibing cried out, raised his head, and apologized to Ning Chuan. I'm sorry. Fine. Ning Chuan replied indifferently and was about to leave. My classmate, I accidentally bumped into you and stepped on your shoes. How about I buy you a drink as an apology? Yibing smiled and said with hope. No need. Ning Chuan said. Well. Yibing was obviously stunned. As one of the foremost beautiful girls in Jiangnan University, she took the initiative to buy a boy a drink, but the other party refused. However, if the other party is really that person, it would not be surprising. My classmate, are you busy? It's okay, I'll buy you a drink next time. By the way, my name is Yibing, what's your name? Can we add each other on WeChat? Yibing reacted quickly and continued smiling. My name is Ning Chuan, there's no need to add WeChat. Ning Chuan said indifferently. Yibing bumped into him just now, how could Ning Chuan not know? Ning Chuan has met many women over the years. Many threw themselves into his arms. But Ning Chuan has a principle. He accepts all mature women, but he will turn her away if she is still a schoolgirl. Because he felt that female students were not yet real adult women and could not be responsible for their own behavior. Of course, if Yibing had other purposes in mind when he bumped into him, that would be another matter. After Ning Chuan coldly refused, he walked sideways around Yibing and walked forward. Could it be, it's really you? If it's really you, as long as you are a student of this school, then it will be easy. Seeing that Ning Chuan ignored him and left, Yibing was indignant at first, but soon he smiled and felt relieved. If he really was that person from that year, then it was perfectly normal for him to treat himself like that. Ning Chuan had not walked far when he met three boys. Recalling the photos on the dormitory door, he immediately recognized that the three boys walking side by side were his roommates. The fattest one is called Ji Xingyu, a native of Jiancheng. The one with darker skin is called Zwenhua, from southwestern Yunnan province, and there is also a tall one of 1.9 meters tall named Wang Xianmin, who is from the northeast. The three roommates also recognized Ning Chuan immediately. Hey! Brother! Why are you here just now? You are quite famous in our class. The three of them immediately surrounded him in a familiar manner. After a brief description, Ning Chuan realized that basically all the freshmen had already reported yesterday. The class had just held its first class meeting, and he was the only one absent. Now, the class meeting has just ended and everyone is heading back. Ning Chuan, be careful. Jiang Churan, our class beauty and monitor, is right behind us and will be here soon. She might say something to you. Ji Xingyu kindly reminded. Talking about me. What about me? Ning Chuan said. As they were talking, a young girl strode over. Her figure is hotter than her age, and her curves are enough to make many fully grown women jealous. She was also dressed coolly, with a slightly short t-shirt that revealed her belly button vaguely, and super short shorts on the lower body, plus super long beautiful legs and a pair of white sneakers. Their whole person looks youthful and full of girlish vitality, while also having the beauty of a woman. She is the newly selected class beauty and monitor, Jiang Churan. Ji Xingyu, he is Ning Chuan from your dormitory, right? The only one who missed the class meeting today. Jiang Churan strode over and said. Oh, yeah, let me introduce you, this is Ning Chuan. Ning Chuan, this is our class monitor Jiang Churan. Ji Xingyu quickly introduced. You are Ning Chuan. The only one who was absent from the class meeting today? You were clearly in school, so why didn't you come to the class meeting? Are you planning to use this method to make yourself stand out? Or do you have no sense of collective honor at all? Jiang Churan walked up to Ning Chuan, her eyebrows slightly frowned and her tone unfriendly. For the next 10 seconds, Ning Chuan ignored her. I'm talking to you. Do you have any manners? Do you have any manners? Chapter 25 Little Girl. Eh? You spit saliva into my mouth and you call me a hooligan. Then from now on, if you don't like someone, can you just spit saliva at them and call them a hooligan? Ning Chuan said again. You are shameless. Jiang Churan was the campus belle when she was in middle school, and was immediately voted the class belle when she entered university. She has always been treated like a goddess by the boys. When has anyone ever said this to her? She was so angry that she almost cried on the spot. Ji Xingyu and the other two were also stunned where they were. At the class meeting just now, Jiang Churan, the class beauty, amazed the whole class. There are more than 20 boys in the class, who wouldn't want to talk to the class beauty Jiang Churan? But this roommate Ning Chuan looked like he didn't take Jiang Churan seriously at all. In addition to Ji Xingyu and the other two, some classmates who were passing by also stopped and watched, casting surprised looks at Ning Chuan. Of course, there were also many angry looks. After all, with Jiang Churan's looks, even though she had only been at school for 2 days, she already had quite a few fans. Anyway, you must write a self-reflection for what happened today. At the next class meeting, you must read it in person in front of the class and admit your mistakes. This is my order to you as the class monitor. Jiang Churan's face flushed and she said to Ning Chuan through gritted teeth. You little girl, you want me to write a self-criticism? Har har, are you dreaming? Ning Chuan said with some amusement. You. Jiang Churan got furious when Ning Chuan called her a little girl and was about to retort. Hey, who do you think you are? How dare you talk to classmate Jiang like that? I advise you to apologize to classmate Jiang right now, or you will regret it. Suddenly, a boy with an arrogant face walked over and looked at Ning Chuan coldly. Ji Xingyu's face changed immediately when he saw him. He quickly leaned over to Ning Chuan's ear and whispered, Ning Chuan, this guy is called Wu Junyang. He is tall, rich and handsome among our freshmen. He is also very domineering and can be considered a freshman bully. He seems to be pursuing Jiang Churan now. You'd better not conflict with him. So there are so many brats in this university. TSK. Ning Chuan shook his head helplessly. Who are you calling a brat? Wu Junyang's face suddenly darkened. Brother Yang, let me help you deal with this kid. After Wu Junyang, a tall and strong henchman immediately rushed to Ning Chuan, stretched out his hand and grabbed Ning Chuan's collar, and said viciously, Boy, immediately do as Brother Yang said and apologize to classmate Jiang, otherwise, I will throw you into the lake. The follower was named Lei Pengfei. After he said this viciously, he grabbed Ning Chuan's collar and exerted force, as if he was going to pick Ning Chuan up and throw him into the lake. You're going to throw me down. Their helplessness on Ning Chuan's face turned into mockery. As long as you apologize to classmate Jiang and say sorry to Brother Yang, I won't abandon you. Lei Pengfei said proudly. However, before he could finish his words, he felt a flash before his eyes and was hit by a huge force. Then, his hand that was holding Ning Chuan's collar somehow loosened. Then, there was a dizzying feeling. Finally, there was a plop sound. He was suddenly surrounded by endless lake water on all sides. Don't want. Jiang Churan's exclamation came from my ear. Fuck. There were also shouts from Ji Xingyu, Wu Junyang and others. Just at this moment, Ning Chuan actually grabbed the tall and strong Lei Pengfei and threw him into the lake. Ning Chuan clapped his hands, glanced at the embarrassed Lei Pengfei in the lake, then looked at Wu Junyang and said jokingly, Little brat, do you want to take a bath too? You. Wu Junyang was immediately furious. Boy, your name is Ning Chuan, right? You are so arrogant to dare to touch my people. I will let you know today that you should not act arrogantly in front of me, Wu Junyang. Otherwise, you will not be able to afford the price. Wu Junyang's face turned gloomy, and 7 or 8 tall and strong students rushed up from behind him. Obviously, they were all his followers. Brother Yang, don't be like this, it was just a misunderstanding, we are all classmates, all freshmen, there is no need to make it like this. Ji Xingyu quickly stepped forward to smooth things over. Zuanhua and Wang Xianmin also stepped forward to separate Ning Chuan and Wu Junyang. Don't do it. Save people first. Jiang Churan also said hurriedly. Mr. Ning, remember this, you will be in trouble next time. Wu Junyang looked at Ning Chuan viciously, uttered a cruel word, then had Lei Pengfei fished out of the water and left angrily. Ning Chuan, this is too much. You threw people into the lake without even starting a fight. You are such a violent person. Jiang Churan said to Ning Chuan angrily. According to you, I should not fight back and let people throw me into the lake, so I am not a violent person. Ning Chuan looked at Jiang Churan as if he was an idiot. You are making excuses. Jiang Churan stamped his feet in anger. Well, Ning Chuan, you have to be careful next time. Wu Junyong will not let you go. Ji Xingyu and the other two quickly tried to smooth things over. They admired but were also worried about Ning Chuan. Fine. Ning Chuan said indifferently. Ring, ring, ring. Suddenly, a phone call came. Chapter 26 Qin Shiyun was set up. Ning Chuan ignored Jiang Churan's self-righteous speech. He said hello to Ji Xingyu and the other two and left the school. Looking at Ning Chuan's receding back, Jiang Churan became even more angry. This Ning Chuan, he had already humbled himself and offered to help him solve his problem, but he still treated him like this. It's really unreasonable. When the time comes, you will be dealt with by Wu Junyong, you deserve it. When Ning Chuan rushed back to Chianmai Company, he found that the company's new product launch conference was held in Yihao Shopping Mall. Yihao Shopping Mall is the largest shopping mall on Jiangcheng Pedestrian Street, and Chianmai Company has an experience store the size of a basketball court in the most central location on the first floor of Yihao Shopping Mall. Today's new product launch will be held in this experience store. At this time, a platform had already been set up in the experience store. Qin Shiyun was standing on the podium, introducing Chianmai Company's latest beauty products to the audience in an orderly manner. This new product launch conference is the last new product launch before Chianmai Company goes public, and it will have an important impact on whether Chianmai Company can successfully go public. Therefore, Qin Shiyun attached great importance to it and even invited many media reporters to report on it. All the middle and senior management of Chianmai Company were present at the scene. At this moment, a middle-aged woman wearing a mask suddenly squeezed to the front of the crowd. Taking advantage of the security guards not paying attention, she rushed onto the platform, pointed at Qin Shiyun and shouted. Chianmai is a garbage company. Chianmai's products have disfigured me. Today I want to seek justice from Chianmai. After saying that, the middle-aged woman pulled off her mask. Her face was covered with small red rashes, many blisters and some white pus. So terrifying. Crash. The crowd below the stage was instantly in an uproar. Looking at the disfigured face of the middle-aged woman, everyone showed a look of horror. All the media reporters turned their cameras, which were originally aimed at Qin Shiyun, towards this middle-aged woman. Qin Shiyun's face changed, her brows furrowed, and she quickly calmed down, looked at the middle-aged woman and said, Madam, you must have some misunderstanding about our company, right? But the middle-aged woman ignored Qin Shiyun and continued to yell at the audience with tears and anger on her face. Everyone, listen to me. Don't buy this Chianmai Company's products. My face was fine before, but it became like this because I used the facial mask from Chianmai Company. I went to Chianmai Company to solve the problem, but not only did they not solve my problem or compensate me, they even accused me of framing them. They also sent security guards to beat me up and threaten me, forbidding me to say bad things about their company. Today, in front of so many people and so many media reporters, I must expose the shameless face of Chianmai Company. Don't be fooled, don't buy any products from Chianmai again. The middle-aged woman screamed at the top of her lungs. Qin Shiyun's face turned dark in an instant. Madam, may I ask what's going on with you? You said your face became like this because you used our company's products. Do you have any evidence? You said you approached our company to solve the problem, but as the company's president, why didn't I know about it? Also, you said our company sent security guards to beat you up. Can anyone prove it? All public areas of our company are equipped with cameras. We can retrieve the surveillance video to see whether you have been to our company and whether you have been beaten by security guards in our company. Qin Shiyun said in one breath. If what the middle-aged woman said is true, she will definitely deal with the relevant responsible persons in the company seriously and even recall the company's products. But if this middle-aged woman has bad intentions, she is not someone who can be easily bullied. Of course I have evidence and witnesses. My face was disfigured by your Chianmai Company's products. The middle-aged woman had a slightly flustered look on her face, and she was looking around the audience as if she was looking for someone. I can prove that everything she said is true. At this time, outside the crowd, a man with bandages wrapped around his body and a crutch walked over. On the high platform, Qin Shiyun looked at the man and her brows immediately frowned. The man with crutches and bandages on was none other than the former company security manager, Li Chuan. He was the man who drove her to the wilderness and almost forced her to take nude photos. Li Chuan was seen walking to the platform with a cane and slowly walking towards it. Zhang Yang. Qin Shiyun frowned and looked at Zhang Yang, the deputy manager of the security department who was standing next to the platform. She signaled Zhang Yang with her eyes to stop Li Chuan from coming up to the stage. However, Zhang Yang seemed not to understand Qin Shiyun's eyes. He stood there in a daze, at a loss as to what to do. Seeing that Zhang Yang did not move, the other security guards did not dare to act on their own. After all, there were so many media reporters in the audience, and if anything inappropriate happened, it might bring discredit to the company. In this way, Li Chuan, leaning on a crutch, actually walked up to the platform step by step. After he got on the stage, Li Chuan spoke loudly to the crowd below. "Dear reporters and friends, let me first introduce myself. My name is Li Chuan, and I was the former security manager of Chiang Mai Company. Of course, I have been fired by Qin Shiyun now. As for why I was fired, it's because I couldn't stand Qin Shiyun's sinister behavior and couldn't stand her bullying others by taking advantage of her power. This lady was disfigured because she used Chiang Mai's products. She came to the company to ask for an explanation, but the president, Qin Shiyun, asked me to kick this lady out. Not only that, Qin Shiyun also sent me to this aunt's house and asked me to break her legs so that she can never cause trouble in the company again. Although I work for Chiang Mai Company and I get paid by Qin Shiyun, I, Li Chuan, also have a conscience. I can't possibly help the tyrant. Of course I refused Qin Shiyun's order. As a result, Qin Shiyun actually hired some underground thugs to beat me up severely. Today, I am not only here to testify for this lady, I am also here to seek justice from Qin Shiyun and Chiang Mai Company." After Li Chuan finished speaking, the place went into an uproar. Whether it was the onlookers or the media reporters, they were all shocked. They either talked about it or rushed to the platform to ask Li Chuan, wanting to get some more explosive news from Li Chuan. In the middle of the high platform, Qin Shiyun's face was as gloomy as water. She didn't expect that this so-called disfigured middle-aged woman was actually in collusion with Li Chuan. Chapter 27 Betrayal. The onlookers and reporters below the stage suddenly fell silent, all turning their eyes to Li Shui. Qin Shiyun also nodded, took a step aside, and left the focus on the podium to Li Shui. Li Shui is an old employee of Chiang Mai Company. When Qin Shiyun just founded Chiang Mai Company, Li Shui was still the company's receptionist. Later, Qin Shiyun discovered Li Shui's potential, and slowly trained and promoted her, allowing her to step-by-step move from the company's receptionist to the position of vice president. Now in Chiang Mai Company, Li Shui can be said to be second only to one person and above everyone else. At this moment, Qin Shiyun felt very relieved to see Li Shui step forward and help her solve her problems. Next, Li Shui spoke. "Dear friends, dear media reporters, I am Li Shui, the vice president of Chiang Mai Company. I am willing to swear in my name that everything I say next is true, not a single word is false." Li Shui took a deep breath and said loudly, "Chiang Mai Company is indeed selling counterfeit beauty products. This lady's face was indeed disfigured because of using Chiang Mai's products. Chiang Mai Company did take unfair and violent actions against this lady." Li Shui said 3 sentences in a row, 3 indeeds, which instantly ignited the whole audience. Crash. What's going on? Li Shui, the vice president of Chiang Mai Company, exposed his family's scandal. He admitted everything. Even Vice President Li Shui has come forward to testify. It seems that Chiang Mai is really a rubbish company. That disfigured lady is so pitiful. Humph, selling fake and inferior beauty products, cheating consumers, and making a lot of money for themselves, Chiang Mai Company is simply conscienceless. Who will dare to buy Chiang Mai's products in the future? Qin Shiyun, as the president of Chiang Mai Company, what else do you have to say? Has your conscience been eaten by a dog? Amid the commotion, everyone roared at the podium. Shui, you, what did you say? You, why did you do this? Qin Shiyun looked at Li Shui in disbelief, her face turned pale, and her beautiful eyes were full of disbelief, as if she had seen a ghost. Li Shui, however, had a resolute look on her face. She ignored Qin Shiyun and continued in a tone of sacrificing personal interests for the greater good. To be honest, I, Li Chushui, am the vice president of Chiang Mai Company. Of course, I hope that Chiang Mai Company will be well, but I cannot go against my conscience. I, Li Chushui, still have a conscience. So, today I want to stand up bravely and expose the ugly side of Chiang Mai Company. Of course, I have already prepared myself mentally for the retaliation that President Qin will launch against me next. I, Li Chushui, declare that from now on, I am no longer an employee of Chiang Mai Company. I want to draw a clear line between myself and Chiang Mai Company. After Li Chushui finished speaking, he ripped the employee badge of Chiang Mai Company from the bear's mouth and threw it to the ground. At the same time, Zhang Yang, the deputy manager of the security department, also tore off the employee badge on his chest, threw it heavily on the ground, stepped on it, and then shouted. I, Zhang Yang, the deputy manager of the security department of Chiang Mai Company, also hereby announce that I will draw a clear line with Chiang Mai Company. I will no longer be a dog of Chiang Mai Company. I want to be a person with conscience. Then, several employees from the sales department and several security guards from the security department walked up to the platform at the same time, tore off their employee badges from their chests, threw them on the ground, and shouted in unison. We have long been fed up with Chiang Mai's practices, and we don't want to be in cahoots with them anymore. You. Faced with the betrayal of Li Chushui, Zhang Yang and others, Qin Shiyan's face turned as pale as paper. Most of these employees were recruited by her personally, and Li Chushui was promoted by her. Qin Shiyan treats her like a sister. But she didn't expect that now they all betrayed her. Of course, there were some employees and security guards who were still loyal to Qin Shiyan and wanted to go on stage to drive Li Chushui and others off, but Zhang Yang, who commanded several security guards who betrayed Qin Shiyan, stopped them on stage and prevented them from coming up. Chiang Mai Company is closed. Chiang Mai Company is closed. Chiang Mai Company goes bankrupt. Chiang Mai Company goes bankrupt. At this moment, someone shouted loudly, and then everyone started shouting along. On the platform, Qin Shiyan's face was pale as a trace. Amid the roars of the crowd, she kept backing away and unknowingly retreated to the edge of the platform. R. Qin Shiyan stepped on empty air, lost her balance, and fell backwards to the stage. The next second, when Qin Shiyan fell in mid-air, a pair of strong arms stretched out from the audience and lifted her up. Qin Shiyan was still in shock. When she looked up, a smirking face appeared in front of her. It's Ning Chuan. Why did you come just now? When Qin Shiyan saw Ning Chuan, she blurted out all the grievances in her heart and instantly vented them on Ning Chuan. But as soon as she said this, she immediately reacted. Ning Chuan is just a bodyguard with unknown origins and good skills. Even if he is given the position of security manager, how can he handle the current situation? What difference does it make whether he comes or not? Put me down. Thinking of this, Qin Shiyan quickly struggled to stand up straight. Okay, now, leave this to me. Ning Chuan put Qin Shiyan down and said. Leave it to you. Can you solve the current problem? Chapter 28 The Threshold of a Little White Face. Snap. 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 Ning Chuan walked up to the platform step by step. Get him out of here. At the edge of the platform, Zhang Yang shouted loudly and directed several security guards under his command to rush towards Ning Chuan. You guys want to fight me? Ning Chuan smiled playfully and waved his hand. Bang! The security guard who was rushing in the front had just raised his fist when he felt a flash before his eyes, and then felt a huge force coming, and the whole person flew backwards and flew out from the other side of the platform. Hiss! Everyone in the audience gasped in unison. This pretty boy has so much strength. The other security guards under Zhang Yang were also frightened and their faces turned pale, but they still rushed forward. As Ning Chuan kept walking towards the stage, he faced several security guards and gave them 2 punches and 3 slaps lightly. Bang, bang, bang. Several security guards were just like the one just now, flying off the platform like sacks, and fell heavily to the ground, with bruised faces and noses, unable to get up. Ning Chuan, you pretty boy, you have nothing to do here, get out of here if you know what's best for you. Zhang Yang shouted in a timid voice, but he kept backing away. As for Li Chuan, who had been beaten by Ning Chuan before, his face changed and he kept backing away on crutches. He felt a dull pain in the wounds bandaged with bandages. The people in the audience were all stunned. Isn't it said that this man named Ning Chuan is a kept gigolo? How come you are so good at fighting? Isn't it enough for a pretty boy to just be handsome? Is the threshold to become a gigolo so high now? Do you need such strong skills to be qualified to be a gigolo? When everyone in the audience was shocked, Li Chuxue raised his head proudly, looked at Ning Chuan coldly and said, "Mr. Ning, don't take advantage of your good skills and brute force to do whatever you want here. Let me tell you, there are so many eyes watching today, and our friends from the media are here too. If you dare to hurt anyone again, we will call the police and have you arrested. Everyone present is a witness. There are surveillance cameras everywhere, and there is physical evidence." After Li Chuxue finished speaking, she puffed out her chest, her beautiful face showed no panic, and her arrogance became even greater. In Li Chuxue's eyes, Ning Chuan was just a reckless man with only brute force, and she could deal with him with just a little bit of trickery. "Are you threatening me and want to call the police?" "Har har, sorry, I've already called the police." Hearing Li Chuxue's words, Ning Chuan said with some amusement, "You called the police? Har har, that's great. Since you called the police, I want to see if you still dare to beat people in public." Li Chuxue sneered. "I'm not hitting anyone. I was just defending myself." "I'm afraid you're going to hit someone next time," Ning Chuan said calmly. "I want to hit someone. Har har, what a joke. I am a civilized person, not like you who only relies on brute force." Li Chuxue sneered and looked away from the crowd. Outside the crowd, a young man strode over with a large group of mall security guards. "Wu Xiaoyu." Below the stage, Qin Shiyun saw the young man and her beautiful brows immediately frowned. The person who came was Wu Xiaoyu. He brought a large group of mall security guards and rushed into the crowd. He walked up to Qin Shiyun and said triumphantly, "Qin Shiyun, I'll give you a chance. How about having dinner with me tonight?" "Wu Xiaoyu, I, Qin Shiyun, never eat with anyone," Qin Shiyun said coldly. "Har har, why are you pretending to be innocent? Since you don't give me face, don't blame me." Wu Xiaoyu sneered, walked up to the stage, and said to the audience and the many media reporters, "Everyone, I am the young master of Yihao Shopping Mall. I also know that Tianmai Company sold inferior products and caused customers to be disfigured. In order to protect the rights of consumers and the reputation of our Yihao Shopping Mall, I declare that from today on, Tianmai will be driven out of our Yihao Shopping Mall. Tianmai's store in our Yihao Shopping Mall will be demolished on the spot. A despicable company like Tianmai has no conscience and is not worthy of selling things in our Yihao Mall. After Tianmai Company leaves, this store will be handed over to a more outstanding beauty company, Meilu Company, and will serve as Meilu Company's main store for beauty product experience." After Wu Xiaoyu finished speaking, there was another exclamation from the audience. Immediately afterwards, a woman in scantily clad clothes and heavy makeup twisted her waist and walked onto the stage. She is the president of Meilu Company, Zhang Meilu. Meilu Company is also a company operating in the beauty industry and is Tianmai Company's biggest competitor in Jiangcheng. "Hello everyone, this store will be our flagship experience store in the future. I hope you will come more often in the future. Please rest assured, our Meilu Company will never sell inferior cosmetics that are harmful to the human body like Tianmai Company. Tianmai Company has no conscience, but our Meilu Company has a conscience," Zhang Meilu said to the audience with a smile on her face. Li Chuxue, Wu Xiaoyu, Zhang Meilu. Offstage, Qin Shiyun's face was as gloomy as water. Until now, she finally understood. What happened today was that Li Chuxue, Wu Xiaoyu and Zhang Meilu colluded with each other and united to target himself and Tianmai Company. Li Chuang and Zhang Yang were also bribed by them. Maybe even the disfigured woman is in cahoots with them. But she had no evidence for all this. Qin Shiyun's face was as cold as ice. Tianmai Company is her hard work, and it also has a more important meaning to her. Independently founding Tianmai Company and successfully listing it was a bet she made with her family. If Tianmai Company failed to go public this time, she would lose. Originally, after today's new product launch conference was successfully held, Tianmai's road to listing would become extremely smooth, and she would also win the bet with her family. But who would have known that now she was being colluded with Li Chuxue, Wu Xiaoyu, Zhang Meilu and others to ruin the new product launch conference. The new product launch conference was ruined, and the launch will most likely fail. At that time, she would have to return to the family and accept the family's arrangements, and become a tool for marriage. Qin Shiyun's beautiful face became extremely cold. Her pearly teeth bit her lips until they bled. Could it be that all her struggles over the years will end in failure? Chapter 29: The Explosive Truth. Ning Chuan clicked on his phone, and suddenly a few noises came from the speakers in the mall lobby. Then, Ning Chuan opened a music player on his mobile phone. Suddenly, all the speakers in the entire shopping mall emitted an indescribable sound at a high volume at the same time. Hiss! Everyone was stunned and looked at each other. The women were embarrassed while the men smiled as if they knew what was going on. What's going on? What's going on in the logistics department? Hurry up and turn off the sound. Wu Xiaoyu snatched the walkie-talkie from a shopping mall security guard and shouted angrily. All the speakers in the mall actually made this sound at the same time. It must be the logistics department responsible for managing the speaker system. Some damn guy was secretly watching a short video and accidentally connected his mobile phone to the mall's speaker system. Ahem. Sorry, I ordered the wrong one just now. At this time, Ning Chuan coughed twice and clicked on the phone, and the sound disappeared immediately. Then, he said to Wu Xiaoyu, "Don't blame your mall's logistics department. They didn't make the noise." What's the meaning? Wu Xiaoyu frowned. What I mean is that the speaker system in your mall is no longer under your control. The control is on my phone. Ning Chuan smiled slightly and clicked on his phone again. A recording of a conversation suddenly came out from all the speakers in the entire shopping mall. Li Chuxue, how is the matter going? Don't worry, Master Wu. I have arranged everything. The disfigured woman has already received the money. I have also dealt with Li Chuang and Zhang Yang. When the new product launch event comes, I will let the disfigured woman come up first, and then let Li Chuang and Zhang Yang come out. I will come out last, along with some other employees. Don't worry, Qin Shiyun will definitely die this time. Hey, good. Well done. The 10 million I promised you has been transferred to your account. Thank you, Mr. Wu. If you have any other requests, you can tell me. No matter what they are, we will satisfy you. Hey, okay, then go to the hotel tonight, get a room, take a shower and wait for me. I'll take you flying tonight. Hate it, Master Wu, I can fly myself too. The sound of a conversation between a man and a woman continued to ring out, and everyone present suddenly widened their eyes. The content of the conversation was extremely explosive. Everyone can hear that the two people talking in the recording are Wu Xiaoyu and Li Chuxue. Cokes. The crowd suddenly became excited. Qin Shiyun's eyes suddenly lit up and she looked at Ning Chuan with surprise. The media reporters were all very excited. This is a big melon. Li Chuxue and Wu Xiaoyu looked at each other, both of them were a little panicked, and then they shouted at Ning Chuan at the same time. Ning Chuan, you despicable villain, you hired someone to imitate our voices to frame us. Yes, this is not our voice at all. Ning Chuan smiled slightly, don't be in a hurry to deny it, this is not all, let me show you something else. Then, Ning Chuan tapped a few more times on his phone, and the phone immediately connected to the large screen opposite the platform, as well as all the large and small screens in the mall. Yeater Shopping Mall is the largest shopping mall in the center of Jiangcheng City. The entire mall adopts the most advanced modern, networked and digital management system. All electrical equipment in the shopping mall can be managed very conveniently through the system. In the past, this was a highlight that Yeater Shopping Mall could boast about. But today, it has become a weakness. Before arriving at the mall, Ning Chuan had already let Ghost take over the mall system. Now, all the equipment in the mall, whether it is speakers, large screens, or even lights and air conditioners, can all be controlled by Ning Chuan's mobile phone. Under Ning Chuan's control, a picture in his mobile phone was projected onto the big screen. This picture is a screenshot of a WeChat chat history. One party in the chat record is Li Chuxue and the other party is Zhang Meilu. The content of the chat was that Zhang Meilu bribed Li Chuxue to sabotage Tianmai Company's new product launch conference and discredit Tianmai Company's reputation. Finally, Zhang Meilu also promised Li Chuxue that as long as Li Chuxue sabotaged Tianmai Company's new product launch conference, she could come to Meilu Company as vice president and would also give Li Chuxue 10% of the shares. Afterwards, Ning Chuan clicked on one picture after another, all of which were Li Chuxue's chat records, including those between her and Li Chuang, as well as between her and Zhang Yang and Wu Xiaoyu. The contents of these chats were all about Li Chuxue discussing with Wu Xiaoyu, Zhang Meilu, Li Chuang and others how to slander, frame and destroy Tianmai Company and Qin Shiyun. From these chat records, it is fully revealed that they were colluding with each other and plotting against Tianmai Company. These screenshots of yours are all fake. They are all photoshopped. They are all fake. Li Qiushui's face turned pale and she pointed at Ning Chuan and screamed. You said these chat records are fake. Then let's take a look at the bank transfer records. Ning Chuan smiled slightly and projected a few pictures onto the big screen. Among these pictures, there are bank transfer records of Wu Xiaoyu transferring money to Li Qiushui, bank records of Zhang Meilu transferring money to Li Qiushui, and records of Li Qiushui transferring money to Li Chuang, Zhang Yang and others. Finally, there is a bank record of Li Qiushui transferring 100,000 yuan to a person named Wang Xiujuan. If I'm not mistaken, your name is Wang Xiujuan, right? Ning Chuan looked again at the disfigured middle-aged woman who rushed up to the platform at the beginning. Yes. The middle-aged woman dared not deny it. Chapter 30. I didn't treat you as a human. Hey, didn't you say you were a civilized person and wouldn't resort to violence? Ning Chuan smiled jokingly and held his phone high. Li Qiushui rushed to Ning Chuan, stood on tiptoe and stretched out her hand, trying to grab Ning Chuan's mobile phone. Although she was tall and wore high heels, she was still a little shorter than Ning Chuan and could not reach it no matter what. You damn bastard! Give me your phone! Or I'll kill your whole family. Li Qiushui was furious and scratched Ning Chuan's face with her long nails on her hands while screaming. Ning Chuan's face turned cold, he put down his raised hand, and used the phone as a slap, slapping Li Qiushui in the face. Bang! The cell phone hit Li Qiushui's face, causing her delicate face to swell up immediately. You dare to hit me! Li Qiushui was stunned by the beating. She covered her face and said in disbelief. Normally I don't hit women, but since you insulted my family, I don't treat you as a human being. Ning Chuan said coldly. Damn it! What are you guys still standing there for? Come over here and grab his phone together. If we don't grab his phone, we'll all be doomed. Li Qiushui's face was distorted, and she turned around and screamed at Wu Xiaoyu, Zhang Meilu, Li Chuang, Zhang Yang and others. Come on. Everyone, come on. Destroy that Ning kid. Beat him to a pulp. Take his phone and smash it into pieces. Wu Xiaoyu yelled angrily at the large group of mall security guards he brought with him. A few days ago, he was slapped more than a dozen times by Ning Chuan at Chianmai Company, and he did not bring any bodyguards with him at that time. But now, this is Yihao Shopping Mall, Wu Xiaoyu's territory, and he brought more than 20 security guards with him. Today, I must beat Ning Chuan into a cripple. Whoosh! More than 20 mall security guards rushed forward. Bang! Ning Chuan punched the security guard in front of him. The security guard flew backwards 7 or 8 meters like a cannonball, hit a glass counter heavily, and collapsed. This is self-defense. Ning Chuan smiled and kicked again. The second security guard who rushed up flew directly to the second floor like a kite with a broken string. Bang, bang, bang. There were continuous muffled thuds, and less than 2 minutes later, more than 20 mall security guards were all knocked to the ground, wailing and screaming. A security guard who was lying at Ning Chuan's feet took advantage of Ning Chuan's inattention and hit Ning Chuan with the electric baton in his hand. Ning Chuan looked down and didn't even want to dodge, just letting the electric baton hit him. Sizzle. Electricity surged into Ning Chuan's body, and everything around him became transparent in Ning Chuan's eyes. Well. Ning Chuan looked over and saw that the clothes of everyone in the audience were slowly becoming transparent. There were many media reporters surrounding the platform, most of them were young and beautiful female reporters. Now that the ability of perspective was activated, Ning Chuan suddenly couldn't bear it anymore. What's going on? Who called the police? What happened here? At this moment, a delicate shout came from the gate of the shopping mall not far away. Ning Chuan subconsciously looked up and saw a naked woman striding towards her. This woman has an exaggerated figure, with her plump cheeks and slender waist forming a sharp contrast. Ning Chuan frowned in surprise. Why did this figure look familiar? Move your eyes upwards and take a closer look at the face. It turned out to be the violent policewoman Mu Wanqing. It's you? What are you doing? Mu Wanqing strode over and frowned at Ning Chuan angrily. Behind her, several male police officers quickly stepped forward to maintain order. Officer, this is what happened. Qin Shiyun vaguely knew that Ning Chuan and Mu Wanqing were not getting along, so she quickly stepped forward and told them what had happened. In short, Ning Chuan has detailed evidence in his hands this time. I hope the police officer can handle this fairly, not wrongly accusing a good person, and not letting a bad person go. Qin Shiyan's last two sentences were pointed and spoken in a serious manner. Mu Wanqing nodded, and for the first time ever, she did not target Ning Chuan. Instead, she asked several subordinates to control Li Qiushui and the others. Officer, what grounds do you have to arrest us? Ning Chuan's so-called evidence is all his one-sided statement. There is no witness at all. That's right, both witnesses and physical evidence are indispensable. Don't be fooled by this bad guy. Li Qiushui and others quickly explained. Do you have any witnesses? Mu Wanqing looked at Ning Chuan. You want a witness? That's easy. Ning Chuan walked up to Wang Shujuan, whose face was disfigured, and looked at her disfigured face carefully. What are you going to do? Wang Shujuan said with some fear. If I'm not mistaken, your face has been like this for some time. If I can restore your face to its original state and make you a tainted witness to avoid punishment, can you serve as a witness and tell the truth? Of course, you can refuse. If you refuse, I will find another witness, and then you will go to jail with this disfigured face. Ning Chuan said lightly. You can really heal my face. Wang Shujuan said doubtfully. Don't believe him. He's just a security guard with some brute force. How can he heal your face? Your face is disfigured because you used Qianmei's inferior skin care products. Wang Shujuan, please stop talking nonsense. Li Qiushui, Zhang Meilu and others said hurriedly. A hint of hesitation appeared on Wang Shujuan's face. If Ning Chuan could really cure her face, then of course she would be willing to tell the truth, even if it meant going to jail for it.